Podcast. All right. I'm not seeing anything on the broadcast. I don't know what the delay is on YouTube, but I'm not seeing.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes. All right. Hey, Internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and welcome to BrigadeCon 2015. I don't know how many of you are actually out there watching at this exact moment, but I know some of you are going to see this after the fact, so that's cool too. As I said, welcome to BrigadeCon 2015. We have the honor of being one of the first games starting. There are several other games that are taking place at this time across the convention, across the internet, around the world. So naturally, we start 10 minutes late, and I do apologize for that. But I would like to tell you, and you're going to hear me say this throughout the next 24 hours, and over the course of this game, which is Tomb of the Mummy Lord, you're going to hear this at least a couple more times. I would love you to go ahead and open another window. Do whatever you have to do. But go to brigadecon.org. There are links on that site for you to purchase a BrigadeCon 2015 t-shirt with the proceeds going to benefit Child's Play. And you will also find a Child's Play widget on the right-hand side of the page in which you can donate directly to Child's Play. Child's Play is a phenomenal charity that was started several years ago with the explicit mission of bringing games, video games, role-playing games, board games, toys, and things like that to children in children's hospitals, in domestic abuse shelters, and things like that. It's a phenomenal shelter, or excuse me, a phenomenal charity that does just tremendous work, and it is an honor to be a part of an event that is going to benefit Child's Play. And you will see let me see, I got my screen mirrored, so if I can point at this, here is the Child's Play logo. You can also, that's the direct link to their charity. So outside of BrigadeCon, any time of the year, any day, any hour, you can go to Child's Play as well and donate directly to them. So, a little bit about the game that we are about to play, and we are going to start in just a moment. Tomb of the Mummy Lord is a custom Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game that I created. I built a pyramid. You can see several pictures of it on the Mini Terrain Domain Facebook page, which I encourage you to go and like. The pyramid is built in 28mm scale. I spent 100 hours over 2 months building the pyramid, and you will see some pictures of the interior. I'm going to be using them as reference maps for you guys to get an idea of what we're looking at as we go into the different rooms. So right now we have 2 players. I have the link out to the other 2 players. If they show up, fine. We'll roll them into this, no problem. If not, I hope, Matt and Zachary, that your characters can survive this dungeon crawl. We might have to have you have a couple extra characters on standby. So, real quick, Matt, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? If you have a YouTube channel or any social media you want to plug, go ahead and do that. And tell us what the name and class and race of the character you're going to be playing is.
My name is Matt Lennington. I'm actually fairly new to D&D. I've never been on anything. Don't have a YouTube channel or any other social media. I'm on here. A lot of the reason I'm on here is to support Child's Play, and I'm a big fan of the game. But this is actually be my second time to ever play D&D 5e. So I am playing Skellis. He is a warlock tiefling with a criminal background. He is Pact of the Tome, and he mostly focuses on spells, not on fighting.
All right. And Zachary.
Okay, hey everybody, I'm Zach Norman. I'll be playing Brad Shook Broadbeard, the Dwarven Paladin. I am actually the DM, Mini Terrain Domain's son, and I do have a YouTube channel which you can check out. It's called Community Link. I do Lego stop motion videos. It's pretty cool. That'll be all.
All right, Brad Shook. I'm going to start referring to you guys by your character names. Brad Shook, what is your AC?
AC is
Passive perception.
17, passive perception is 10.
And Skellis, what is your AC and your passive perception?
My AC is also 17. My passive perception is 11.
All right. So I will be using passive perception to avoid having you guys roll direct perception checks so I can surprise the crap out of you. We are going to, I'm going to slip into character here in a moment. I encourage you to use whatever level of role-playing and characterization that you're comfortable with. And if, Matt, I know you said you're relatively new to D&D and 5e, so if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask. That's part of the game. I love teaching people and bringing new people to the game. So, I'm going to do one thing real quick here. All right. And we'll plan in probably somewhere where the story allows about halfway through. We'll take about a 5-minute break. So if you are one of the viewers here right now, we're building in potty breaks. I'm drinking lots of very large coffee and water here, so I will need that break midway point too. All right, gentlemen, Skellis and Broadshook, are you ready to get started? And let's play some D&D.
Let's go.
Okay. You have been traveling for 7 days to the southern desert. It's been 7 days since your last hot meal, since you slept in a comfortable bed. For 7 days, the sand has been getting in everything, every nook and every cranny of your gear and of your body. If you are wearing armor, you can hear it grittily creaking as you climb over endless dunes. You remember 7 days ago when you arrived at the last oasis, the last village on the southern outskirts of the southern desert. Word traveled fast that adventurers had arrived in town and were eager to delve deep into the desert in search of the legendary tomb of Hycineroth, the once powerful cleric king of more than a millennia ago. Each of you has your own specific reasons for seeking out the tomb of the Mummy Lord. Perhaps you are looking for treasure. Perhaps you are looking for answers. Perhaps you are looking for power. One thing is certain, you will find adventure there. And so for the past 7 days, you have been traveling over an endless sea of sand. You climb tall dunes, hoping that as you crest the dune, that you will see, finally, the legendary tomb of the Mummy Lord appearing before you. And every time you cross a dune, you are disappointed to see only more sand. Until midday of the 7th day, where the sun is high in the air, together you crest the tallest dune you have yet seen. And as you reach the top of it and you peer over the edge of this dune, You're certain that this time you will see the tomb of the Mummy Lord, but what you see instead is a wall of sand as a sandstorm appears to be approaching. But in a sudden moment, all of the sand swirling in the air ceases to be flying around and falls down to the ground, and you see the tomb of the Mummy Lord before you. And DM's note, please forgive my hasty Photoshop. You should be seeing a pyramid before you. This is the sight that greets you as you come down from your sand dune. A massive pyramid towering 100 feet above the desert floor. Two obelisks, one broken, tower at least 30 or 40 feet in front of it. And you see a 20-foot diameter golden circle in front of the pyramid between the obelisks, glinting in the sunlight. You descend the sand dune and you find yourself standing before this massive pyramid and immediately in front of this golden disc. What would you like to do?
I inspect the rune and see if I can decipher what its purpose is.
You're looking at the runes on the obelisk? Or on the... Are you inspecting the circle?
Yeah, the circle. That's what I meant.
Go ahead and give me a history, arcana, or religion check. And Skellis, you're welcome to do this check as well. Those are all intelligence checks. Whatever is your strongest.
Well, I don't have very good at that, but I do have this cantrip guidance.
Okay, I rolled a 17 plus 3, so I got 20 on that roll.
I don't need my guidance.
That is excellent. So as you are Brad Shook, as you are investigating the runes that you see on these obelisks and on this golden circle, what you see is an arcane and archaic language, the likes of which has not been seen or used for over 1,000 years. You can't make a literal translation of the runes, but you recognize that many of today's symbols and magical languages and such are derived from this archaic language. And you recognize several symbols that indicate extreme danger, caution, cuidado, and you also recognize the symbols that indicate teleportation. You notice that the circle, in a perfect circle around the border of it, and bisecting it are several lines that glow with a magical energy that doesn't even require any kind of a detect magic. I mean, it's very obviously, even in the sunlight, glowing with blue energy.
Well, I very warily I step onto the platform.
You step onto the platform. Excellent. There is an audible pop, and Skellis, you see Brad Shook vanish before you as he steps onto the circle.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and step onto.
And so you immediately step onto the circle after him, and also see that. You feel a tug as if from the inside, and you momentarily feel as if you have been turned inside out, but then you quickly find yourself standing in a room. The heat of the desert is suddenly replaced with a more stagnant and slightly cooler air that of an interior space. And what you see around you is a room that is about 70 feet long and about 30 feet across. There is a large symbol painted and etched in red in the middle of the floor, and it's in the middle of this upon which you stand. And immediately in front of you, towering over you, you see a golden serpent statue. And it is staring you right in the face. It has two skulls on a gold braided cable, and you should see that pop up on your screen.
Yeah, I see it.
And it's hanging out of its mouth. And these skulls, one orange and one blue, are facing away from each other and towards opposite sides of the room. And you notice, besides the sand that appears to have blown in through the teleportation circle, the pillars in the corners of the room, and the symbols that are painted on the floor, you notice that there are additionally two symbols on the... Sorry, my mouse is hanging up. There we go. Two symbols painted on the floor on either side, one to the west and one to the east, that are variations of multi-pointed stars, one in shades of blue and one in shades of yellow and orange. Immediately across from these doors are two large double wooden doors. Now, another brief DM intrusion note. I will be popping these images up from time to time to help us and the audience kind of picture some of these things. These are just for reference. There's additional details that exist within Theater of Mind, so feel free to investigate beyond what you can physically see in these pictures, and I highly encourage that.
All right.
So, what do you guys want to do?
I'd like to take a look at this serpent statue.
Yeah, I think the skulls would have to, I don't know, manipulate them somehow. Since the blue one is facing the orange and the orange one is facing the blue.
So, you're Brad Shook. You are investigating. You're walking up and checking out the serpent.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check out the doors and the stars.
Okay. All right, so Brad Shook first. As you are looking at the statue, you can see that it is this large, towering serpent statue. The cord hanging out of its mouth is braided gold cord. The skulls are attached to it. As far as you can tell, the statue looks to be made of pure gold. It towers. The ceilings in this room are 15 feet high, and it towers nearly to the ceiling. So the skulls that are hanging down from its mouth would normally be... So, Skellis, when you stood in front of it, or if you were to stand in front of it, the skulls would be at about your head height. Brad Shook, they're a little bit above your head since you're a dwarf, so you have to kind of look up at them. Is there anything specifically beyond that you want to investigate or attempt to do?
I wanted to see if I could make an Arcana check and detect any magical resonance or something like that.
Well, you can do an Arcana check. You could attempt to do a detect magic spell if you had that. If you want to specifically detect magic, or you can just do an Arcana check. I mean, that's what you said you wanted to do. So go ahead and do that. And then while we wait for your result, Skellis, you're checking out. You said you were checking out the symbols in the door.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you can readily tell when you're looking at these symbols on the floor is, for the age that this place is the legends say that this tomb is supposed to be, The paint seems to not have aged very much. The colors are still very vibrant. And as I said, on the north wall above each of the symbols, identical on either side, are double wooden doors. So is there anything specifically you want to look for or check while you're looking at these doors or the symbols?
Well, I don't have any. I don't have. I'm a mage without detect magic. That was a newbie mistake there. I would expect the door to see one. I guess see if they're locked anyways.
Yeah, so if you try to open the doors, they're definitely locked.
See if I see anything that stands out as magical or anything.
Why don't you go ahead and give me an Arcana check? Or an investigation, whichever might give you a better...
I'm not hearing you.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check, or if you want to do it like an investigation. And then while you're doing that, back to Brad Shook. What did you get for your check?
I rolled a 16, so that adds up with Arcana 19.
Okay, so yeah, you can tell that there seems this whole tomb has just this almost like a in the same way that if you were in a forest, there's a buzz of life in the forest. This tomb has a buzz of magical energy. And even without detect magic, you're sensing the magical resonance, as it were, a little bit stronger around this statue and around the skulls.
Well, that's odd.
Skellis, how was your check? Can you hear me, Matt? Are you not hearing us, Matt? Zach, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Looks like we have some technical difficulties.
All right, let's try that. All right, Brad Shook, what do you want to do?
Well, I looked at the... Okay. I don't know. He's checking out the doors.
Yeah, and he determined them to be locked.
Yeah, we completely lost sound.
So you can't hear me at all? Well, that's a dumb question. You can't hear me at all. All right, technical difficulties, everyone. How about now, Matt? Can you hear? I saw you mute and unmute. I don't know. All right, we're going to take an unscheduled moment here, since one of my only two players are hindered. And let me open one of my billion windows.
I'm going to take this brief moment to go relieve myself.
All right. Okay. Matt. Are you still not hearing us, Matt? All right. All right. Sorry, viewers, we're covering this in chat real quick. We're trying to get Matt sorted out. You.
Alright, I'm back.
All right. Again, I apologize to the viewers. We'll get things rolling here in a moment. It is difficult to move past the technical difficulty when you only have one player. Matt dropped out. He's going to try to log back in, and I'm working with the admins to possibly get another player in here. So we'll see. We might have someone joining in again. So let me take this moment to remind you to go to BrigadeCon.org and make sure you check out you can buy T-shirts and hoodies that will benefit Child's Play. And make sure that you click on the widget and donate to Child's Play. That's one of the main reasons why we are here. So hang in there, folks. We'll get going here. We'll pick this back up again in a moment. I do sincerely apologize. I've noticed it appears that the live chat is not working on YouTube. I thought I had that all set up properly, but apparently not. And how my mouse is dying. All right, can you hear me now, Matt?
I can hear again now, yeah.
All right.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. So, oh, hey, Andreas
Hi.
just popped in.
Yes, I couldn't find the Hangout link anywhere. So sorry.
Oh, no, that's no problem. We've been plagued with technical difficulties. We're just getting started. We're in the foyer, so let's take this moment. A shout out to Kurt, to PhD&D out there for helping to get Andreas in here.
Yes.
So what we're going to do real quick is, Andreas, if you could tell me your character's name.
Alshan.
Elshan?
Yeah. Aoshan.
Eoshan.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your race and class?
I am a Wood Elf monk.
Awesome. And give me your AC and your passive.
I have 18 AC and my passive perception is 16.
16. All right, fantastic. So, Matt and Zachary, or rather I should say Brad Shook and Skellis, just to bring you up to speed real quick, here's how we're going to do this. Aoshan, you have been traveling through the desert trying to find the tomb of the Mummy Lord.
Okay.
And you have your own reasons for why you have been trying to get there. And you've heard rumors and legends of curses and massive treasure, of arcane mysteries, secreted away knowledge, things like that have compelled you to go there. You've heard that there were other adventurers that had sought out the tomb, and you have traveled, and just as you come over the crest of a sand dune, what you see actually is, sorry, my mouse just died. What you see is I'm going to open up a picture here a moment. You see this pyramid just over the crest of the dunes, and you see on this golden disc that is between the two obelisks, just as you come over the hill, you see a dwarf and a tiefling step onto that circle, and just poof, they're gone.
Oh, okay. So I go and study the obelisks.
All right, so if you want, you can do a history or an arcana check.
Okay, one sec. Let me just get my dice. They're right here. So I'll do a history check.
All right.
I got 10.
All right. So what you see is very old runes on both the obelisks and around the perimeter of the disc.
Okay.
It's very old. It's nothing you recognize, but what you do see are hints at that today's modern magical languages seem to have been derived from possibly from this old language. And you see that some familiarity in things that you've heard about that references teleportation magic.
Huh.
But that's about all you're able to determine.
Okay, so I say, okay, fuck it, and I step on the circle.
As soon as you step on the circle, you feel as though you are turning inside out just for a moment, and then you suddenly find yourself in a room about 70 feet by 30 feet. And I'm going to show you real quick the room that you guys are all standing in. You appear in the middle of the room on this kind of reddish symbol. And you are staring into, well, you're actually staring at the back of the head of a dwarf. And there's a tiefling on the side of the room where the star symbols are, investigating the doors. And immediately in front of the dwarf is a golden serpent statue that towers almost to the top of the 15-foot ceilings. And there's a gold braided cord hanging from its mouth, from which dangle a blue and a orange skull. And Skellis and Bradshuk, you suddenly hear behind you a pop as there's suddenly a elf standing in the room with you.
I say, hello, adventurers. I mean no harm.
Okay, I turn around when I hear the sound, and I say, what business have you here?
I came here on my own private reasons to investigate the tomb of the Mummy Lord.
We
How
all
about
have our
you?
reasons. We all have our own reasons.
Okay.
Real
Well,
quick.
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I guess a party of two is better than three. I guess a party of three is better than two, right?
Aye.
Andreas, I need you to roll a d8 real quick.
D8. Okay.
And re-roll a 1 or a 7.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, I'm going to... I don't think I can delete it, so I guess this is going to be one of those things where... because I don't think I have you... You weren't able to see the Facebook chat. So I'm going to send this in the chat here on Google Hangouts. And I apologize. I don't remember if I said this on the air or not. Each of the players is using something called a secret motivation. This is something that goes in addition to your character. This is a secret mission or a secret goal that you have as a player or as a character. I'm gonna put this in the chat for the Hangout.
Okay.
So Matt and Zachary, you just kind of have to ignore it. It is up to you to what degree you want to share this information with each other in character. But you're going to see that you have a specific goal. It's got a title, a goal, and you have a couple items to add to your inventory. So go ahead and look that over real quick, and then I'll try to make this the last DM intrusion. For the audience, this is my third time running a game on Google Hangouts, so I consider myself to still be a little bit of a noob there. So, all right, take a look at that, Andreas, and let's just slip right back into character here. So you guys were conversing. I turn it back over to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess I move to the one of the doors. I gotta decide which door.
Which door are you in front of, Skillis?
By the orange sign.
Okay, I walk to where Skellis is.
All
Just
right.
join him in examining what this door is.
So, as you walk over there, you and Skellis, you're kind of checking the door out. You had checked the one in front of the blue out and found it to be locked. And as Bradshook walks over to you, you had just kind of tried the door and it wasn't giving. But as he walks over, you suddenly you feel more than hear a kind of click, and suddenly the door opens just a fraction of an inch at your hand. It is no longer locked.
Okay. I signal for everyone to stop, and then I whisper to him, "I think it's unlocked."
Okay.
And we should proceed in.
I don't want to be the first one through this door.
I'll go in. Just so, is the door slightly ajar?
At this point, it's only open enough that you can see a thin sliver of flickering orange light.
Huh. Okay. So I slightly open the door, like just very discreetly.
As you
And
as you start to open the door, you immediately feel this wave of heat emanating from the room, reminiscent of your last 7 days traveling through the desert. But this has a more direct feeling. It's hotter even than the desert that you traveled through.
what can I see?
What you see is this. You see a room that is about 40 feet wide, or 40 feet long, and about 25 feet across. And it appears as though about 2/3 of the way across the room, what looks like almost a small volcano has burst through the floor. There is magma flowing into the cracks of the room. There are pieces of broken cement, broken stone tiles that have been thrown asunder from whenever this volcanic thing erupted. And in a small island in the center of this mini volcano is a golden pedestal with a glowing blue orb on it. It is oppressively warm in this room.
Hmm.
The lava flows that are flowing through some of the cracks between the stones are narrow enough that you can easily step over them as though they were puddles of water, albeit puddles that can burn you.
Yeah.
Um. So, should we try and get over the lava, over to the island?
I think at least one person needs to go over there and check it out and see if they can figure out what they're supposed to do with this.
If neither of you will go, then I shall.
No, I'll go. I'm fine with going. I have high dexterity.
Good.
Are you all in the room now?
I've entered.
I'll enter.
Yeah, I was in.
As soon as you all walk in, you hear slam, and the door slams shut behind you.
That can't be good.
Well, that means there's only one way forward.
All right, so
yeah.
Yoshan, you're gonna go for the orb.
Yes. So should I roll a d20?
Go ahead. It's a little. It's basically difficult terrain, and you have some footholds uh, that are stone that's not covered in burning magma. But some of them are at an angle and things like that. So go ahead and just give me one dexterity check.
It's okay. So that's 17.
Yeah, you're able to lithely step across these stones and get up into that center area. You have enough room to stand next to this pedestal where this orb is upon it and is glowing.
I try and inspect the orb.
So the orb, as you get closer to it, you notice a couple of things. The orb appears to be, the inside of it is swirling with blues and whites, almost as if it's a hyperactive snow globe. If the best way to describe it would be a blizzard in a ball. And
Okay.
the other thing you notice is that the orb is not actually touching the golden pedestal. It appears to be hovering slightly above it. And in this close proximity, you can actually feel kind of like a cool breeze emanating from it.
Hmm. Do we have any wizards here? I turn back and ask.
Well,
I use magic.
I might be the closest to a wizard, but
What class are you?
spells. So
I'm a paladin.
If you want, you can come over here and check this orb out. Otherwise, I'm just gonna drop a dart through it and see what happens.
I will approach.
I have a bad feeling about hitting that orb. But okay,
Okay, so I go over to the orb. Should probably roll a dexterity then.
Yeah, so you're going over to the orb. Go ahead and give a dex check to make it over the lava.
That's a 17 total. Pretty
Yeah,
solid.
your dwarven legs are used to scrambling over rock and such, and you're able to make it up there. And there's enough room for you to stand next, kind of on the other side of the pedestal from Eoshan. So you are now up there successfully.
Okay, I'd like to make an Arcana check on this orb to see if I can, like, recall anything from studies, if I might know what this is.
Go ahead.
Right.
As a DC 100 check. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Okay, so I rolled
And she rolls a 20.
No, I rolled a total of 18.
Yes, it is definitely magical, but you've never seen anything like this.
Huh.
You also feel a little bit of a cool breeze emanating from this orb.
Yeah, are there any other exits in the room?
There are not. The walls are stone bricks, archways all the way around.
I have a feeling this orb might be another teleportation thing, but I'm just gonna test it. So I take a dart.
I'm about to say, I think it's probably gonna either trigger some effect in this room. That's why I'm gonna stand by the door in case the door opens. I want to see if I can. I have a quarterstaff, and I'll use it to jar open this door in case this door opens. I don't want it to close again. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
So you're going to drop a dart kind of into the orb? Aoshin?
Yeah, I will.
All right. So you kind of just hold a dart over top of the orb, and you release it, and this orb seems to. You actually see almost a like a tendril of bluish white energy, just for a moment, just kind of wisps up from the orb, and it grabs this dart and kind of sucks it into the orb.
That's strange.
A moment later, you see what it just looks like. It looks like an explosion, and of just ice. You see about a dozen shards of ice come flying out of this orb in all directions.
Shit.
Go ahead, and everybody needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Alright, I rolled a 14 for that.
Oh,
I have a +8, so.
That doesn't sound like a good look. I don't look like a good look, that is.
I rolled a 1.
No!
Wow, I have +8 dexterity saving throw, and I rolled a 2, so that's like.
Okay, so
Wow.
Brad shook as these ice shards burst out of this sphere. You just do a quick little dodge and juke, and they go whizzing past you, and you don't get hit by anything. Aeoshin, you're standing right next to it, and at least 3 shards of ice go flying into your chest. And Skellis, across the room, you see one shard as you're standing at the door waiting for this door to open. One shard of ice. You just turn, and almost in slow motion, you see this shard of ice come flying right between your eyes. And the most surprising thing, Aeoshin and Skellis, is you feel a slight chill as these ice shards pass immediately through you as if they're not even solid.
Huh.
You hear and see shards of ice bursting against the walls behind you and against the door behind you, but they do no damage to you and affect you in no way other than giving you a slight chill.
Any common person should know not to attack something that is magical.
I didn't see we had a lot of choices.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
I spend a short moment pondering my different
Is
courses of action.
is the globe itself, is it broken right now? Or is
Nope. Nope, it is 100% intact.
It is
I
broken.
reach out and slide my hand under it and then lift it off of its pedestal.
Excellent. So as you grasp hold of this, orb, you feel a cooling sensation emanate through your hand and over your body, and the heat of the room feels slightly less oppressive. Aeoshin, you
Yes.
notice that as he grasps hold of this orb, and he's just kind of staring into it, and you almost see, as if he's drawn into it a little bit, that you notice that the lava that is around this little island at your feet has begun to boil. And you actually see, besides the bubbles of lava kind of popping up a little bit, you see tendrils of lava slowly starting to rise up and intertwine, and they rapidly accelerate. And the first thing you notice is an arm is being formed out of lava and rising up out of the mini volcano you're standing on.
Do I
He's still
notice
holding.
any of this?
Neither of you notice this.
Is he holding? Is he still holding the orb?
Yes.
I tell him I think you should put the orb back, and then I point to the hand coming out of the lava, and and I show the lava boiling.
And at that exact moment, the hand rises straight up towards the ceiling, and pulling it behind it and forming is a vaguely humanoid form that is very large and rises to stand between the two of you on the little pedestal and Skellis across the room as a fire elemental pulls itself up out of the lava. I need everybody to roll for initiative.
All right.
But we want to negotiate.
And do you want me to roll as well?
Yeah, go ahead. Did you see my
I
note?
roll?
I need you to roll a d8, Juvet. You say
No
that
problem.
as Juvet or Juvi or
Juvet.
Juvet? Okay. Yeah, roll a
on the
d8 for me.
The D8 is a 17 on the initiative. I haven't got. Let me look at my modifier real quick. And a 1 on my character sheet. I mean on my D8.
One. Did anybody roll a 1 yet? Somebody already rolled a 1. Can you re-roll that, please? Re-roll 1, 3, or 7.
All right.
And then,
6.
okay. I'm going to send you something in the chat in a moment. It's called a secret motive to add to your character.
Gotcha.
Okay. You said that was a 6. Let me make a note of that. Okay. What's everybody's initiative count?
I got a 7 or 19.
A 19 for Brad Shook.
Aye.
And I'm new to 5th ed, so I'm trying to find where they keep the initiative.
In the middle.
It's straight dexterity. Whatever your dex mod is.
Yep. That would be 17, 18, 19 is my initiative.
Solid.
I got a 7. You need to put it in the chatter.
And Aoshan, what'd you get?
I got a 7 also.
I've never had that happen before. So, yeah, two of you in pairs, you guys are essentially reacting at the same time. So, and then I'm going to roll for this fire elemental real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna real quick give you guys a moment, those of you in the room, a quick moment to strategize. You have a brief moment of clarity, and time seems to slow down, and you are able to analyze the situation for a moment. And Juvet, I am sending you in the chat. Now, everybody can see it, but separating character knowledge and player knowledge, you have a motivation and you have a unique item to add to your inventory. Go ahead and read that over. And real quick, you have been traveling to the Tomb of the Mummy Lord. You have traveled for 7 days through the desert. You've heard that other adventurers have traveled on their way there and were ahead of you. On the 7th day, you crest a sand dune and you see the tomb rising from the desert. It is a large pyramid. There's a golden disc and obelisks with arcane writing that you kind of study a little bit. You look at the golden disc a little bit and you observe that it is magical. It has very obvious magical energy. And you're able to notice perhaps the sand swirling around or whatever, that any sand that hits on it seems to vanish. And you quickly assess that this is a teleportation circle that appears to be the entrance to the tomb. So I don't know how your character would react to that. Is that something you would readily step onto, knowing it could be the entrance? Or would you be hesitant about it? That's for you, Juve.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now and adding it to my character sheet.
So, and what's going to happen? While you're looking that up, I'm going to get these. We'll get going on this first round of combat, and I'm going to bounce to you when it's your turn, and we'll kind of bring you in. Nothing like starting the adventure off with the split party. Okay. So based on the initiative order, that took care of Dragon's turn. Brad Shook.
Alright, so I see this towering beast of fire, whatever you want to call it, and I'm holding this orb, and I sort of snap out of this trance this orb has put me in, and I slip it into my pack real quick, and I stare down this elemental, and I cast as a bonus action Hunter's Mark.
Excellent.
And then I draw my special little longsword that I got here, and move to strike.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is it my turn?
Well, no,
Well, I tell the dwarf to basically, hey, use the orb against elemental.
Well, as I hear that, I'm already charging towards this flame, and I strike it.
I must.
you try to.
Yeah, I did try to attack it. And I roll a very good roll. That's a total of 24. Man, I like my dice today.
All right, so you roll a 24 on an attack on the fire elemental.
Yeah.
All right, that is going to hit. So as you, go ahead and roll your damage, and you can describe your attack if you wish.
All right, great. So that's a D8 and then a D6 for the Hunter's Mark. All right. Ooh, that's not good. All right, so that adds up to 13 points of slashing damage as I sort of leap into this beast and carve at it with my longsword.
Excellent.
That's my attack.
So, yeah, and your sword, you see it kind of momentarily separate the flame, and it feels like a good solid hit. You feel like you've hurt this thing. Not a lot. It kind of flares a little bit as your sword passes through it. And Aoshin and Skelis, you're both more or less going to take your turn simultaneously. Aoshin, you're going to act first. I just rolled a couple of dice to see who's going to take the first of those.
Okay.
But you're kind of acting almost at the exact same moment.
Yeah, I have 20 dexterity anyway, so sort of. How about, okay, how far away is the creature from me?
It's within reach.
Okay.
It's right in front of you.
Right in front of me. Okay. So I just start attacking with it with unarmed strike. I make I make my first unarmed strike. I have +8, 17.
Okay.
I have, yeah.
Go ahead and just, that's going to be a hit.
11 damage.
I just need to remind me.
Yeah.
Your I'm just trying to remember if unarmed strikes for a monk count as magical attacks.
Oh yeah, they are a magical attack. My unarmed strikes are magical.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check that. So all right, so you do a strike, your first strike, and you did 11 damage.
Yeah. So I use my extra attack.
Okay.
Here we go. 24. Roll damage.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
9. So then I spend 1 key point to do flurry of blows, so I make 2 more unarmed strikes because that's the way
Excellent.
monks
Yeah.
roll.
Yep.
21 on the first attack and 20 on the other one. Not
Yeah,
natural.
those definitely both hit.
Yeah. So that's 3, 4 plus 10, 17 damage with my flurry of blows.
Wow.
And that's my turn.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It
so as the
happens.
dwarf cuts in, he takes a swing with his sword.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
When I hit a creature with flurry of blows, I have 3 options, and I choose target must succeed on a dex saving throw or be knocked prone. So go ahead and roll dex.
That is going to be a what's the DC?
My DC is my key DC must be somewhere like 14.
That is a 16, so it succeeds on its dex save.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
so after the dwarf cuts in with his sword and kind of looks smug and satisfied with a successful hit, the wood elf just goes all Bruce Lee on this fire elemental and starts throwing punches and kicks into the fire. You're literally punching and kicking fire, and you can see this elemental doesn't know how to react to it, and you can feel as your hands and feet kind of pass through and the magic protects them. You can feel that you are taking energy away from this fire. You feel that you inflicted a fair amount of damage to it. Skellis, you just saw the monk go all. As you're prepping your action, the monk is just starting to punch and kick at this giant fire form. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna throw a couple Eldritch blasts into its head.
All right.
That's a 13. And,
That's a hit.
And a natural 20.
Nice.
So go ahead and roll the damage for the 13.
Okay, that's 4 plus 4 is 8.
Okay.
And then the damage for the other one. Do I roll it twice or do I double the number I rolled?
You actually you're gonna for the nat 20 you'll roll damage twice, then add your modifiers.
Okay. So 9. 9, 17.
17 total.
Yes.
Wow. So you guys just in this immediate, just coordinated attack, you slice it, you go Bruce Lee on this thing, and as soon as your last unarmed strike passes through this thing, 2 eldritch blasts come just flying out from the other side of the room, and they're absorbed completely, and as the second eldritch blast hits with this extra force, the 2 of you shooting out of it as the fire elemental just dissipates in front of you with a hiss. Good lord, you guys just one-rounded that fire elemental.
Monks.
Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
I forgot that I had an extra attack. So I attacked. So it could have probably died earlier, but it worked out the way it did.
So after the combat and the elf just did a boatload of damage, the dwarf is just saying, I could have hurt it a little bit more.
Yeah, I could have done
I was
better
just
than I
holding
did.
back.
I had to let you guys get a turn.
Right, so,
Well, oddly enough, because of the way that happened, I get 12 extra temporary hit points because I put it
Nice.
down.
Nice, man.
nice.
So,
I wonder how long I keep those. Probably the end of the battle.
has the lava calmed down in any way?
The lava doesn't dissipate, nor does the heat in the room change, But Skellis, you hear behind you a click as the door just kind of springs open a fraction of an inch and is no longer locked. Dragon.
Yep.
So you, how does Dragon react to this teleportation circle?
I have my blaze drawn, which is 2 scimitars, and looking back and forth, trying to see what has happened.
So
And
you went. So you stepped through it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you see is, I'm going to pop the share screen up one more time, just to make sure that you can see the same thing that everybody else saw. So you know what the room layout looks like, and you appear. Oops. So you appear in the middle of that red circle, and or that red symbol, and to the right, in front of the symbol of the yellow and orange multi-pointed star, what you see is a door open, and you see a dwarf, an elf, and a tiefling come stumbling out of a room into the room you're in, and directly across from you, as you see this, immediately in front of you is a giant golden serpent statue. And then these 3 figures emerge from this room. And as you guys are stumbling out into the vestibule again, you just suddenly see that there is a dragonborn with 2 scimitars drawn, standing there.
I commented the other two that after thousands of years, this place has turned into a very busy place.
Yeah. It
It's
seems
because
fate has brought us together on this day.
I immediately asked them once I where am I, and I'm looking for my mother. Have you seen any other dragonborns other than myself in this catacomb?
No.
The
Not
only
really.
living thing we've encountered is a flame elemental that we
Yes.
just slayed. No sign of other dragonborn.
Okay, and my character is a dragonborn, about 300 plus pounds, give or take. Jet black. So, if any of y'all have any knowledge of different dragon types, y'all can make out I'm a acid type dragon ancestry.
Dragonborn dropping some acid. All right, so
Okay, how are you? Are you like a mage or are you a fighter?
Fighter, rogue, barbarian.
Okay. Indecisive. Got it.
Pretty much.
So I sort of take out this orb I'm holding and give it a second look now that things have calmed down.
all right, so you pull the orb out.
Uh-huh. I'm just trying to look at it some more, see if I can decipher it.
Everybody except for, well, actually, Brad Shook, let me do it this way. Everybody, roll perception. Brad Shook, you roll with advantage.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, that worked out well for me. Because I rolled a 3, but then I rolled an 18. So that's a total of 18.
I rolled a 22.
I got 13. Not that it probably matters.
And 8.
Okay, so Dragon, you don't notice Jack. The rest of you notice that as you pull this orb out, the blue skull that is dangling from the braided cord from the mouth of the serpent turns toward you, and its empty eye sockets appear to be looking right toward the orb in your hand.
I look down at the orb again. I sort of take a moment to think.
Okay, on these stars, is there like an insert to put it in the middle of it or something like that, or mount it with these stars?
The stars themselves are etched and painted symbols on the floor. There does not appear to be any obvious
Okay.
thing to like put anything in, like a keyhole or a slot or anything.
I start pacing the room and keeping my eyes on the skull. Orb in
With
hand.
every step you take, every breath you make, it is watching you. Yeah, the skull is following your movements as you walk around the room. Yeah, I don't. You can tell it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just use police lyrics in D&D. So,
Yes.
uh, so
Yes, I'm in the
yeah,
game. Why?
When you
Yep.
get near the blue door, does the blue door pop open?
no, the blue door hasn't opened.
Okay.
If I walk near the blue door, does anything happen?
The blue skull watches your every move as you walk over there. And you walk right up to the door.
Yeah.
It clicks and kind of springs open just a half an inch.
I put
Nice.
the orb back in my pouch, and I look at the group, and I go, I think we should go into this room next.
Perhaps there'll be a water elemental this time. So should I go first again, or
I'll go
anyone
first
else?
this time.
Yeah, you go. No problem.
So, is the door a push door or a pull door?
It pulls open.
Okay, so I pull open the door, and I look in without entering. What do I notice?
And anybody else that is looking over your shoulder will see this. The room is the same size and shape as the room you just came from, except that everything is coated in a layer of frost. The middle of the room appears to have actually been broken away, and there is ice, like an iced over pond in the middle of the room. All along the walls and the edges of this ice pond is snow. And on the far side of the room is a golden pedestal, much like the one in the previous room, but there is a fiery orb resting atop this pedestal.
I start getting the feeling that my prediction was right.
So I step into the room.
All of you can feel cold, bitterly cold air blowing out of this room. Oh, we just lost Matt.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see as he pops back in. You feel bitterly cold air blowing from in the room, as if you were on the tundra, except for Bradshook. You feel a cool breeze blowing across you.
Must be the orb. So I see this what seems to be fiery orb.
Should we try and trigger the orb again? Like we did last time, so we can just fight the water elemental and get through the other door.
Yeah, don't drop a
Water.
dart on it this time. I don't want to get
Yeah, I
burned.
won't. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, this
So-
is slightly more serious.
So I sort of hop onto that little island on the pond, so I don't slip on the ice or anything, because I'm a dwarf, not very high dex. And then
Well, so you're going to try to hop onto that island?
yeah,
I can toss you, you know.
no,
Go ahead and give me a dex check as you jump onto the island.
all right. Okay, so I rolled a 3, and my total score was a 4.
Yeah, so as you jump across, you land on a patch of snow and you fall prone. Normally, for somebody else, it wouldn't be that difficult to cross, but as a dwarf,
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah.
And as you leapt across, you just kind of landed in the snow and slipped and fell. You don't take any damage, but maybe your pride a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just try. I just try and do the same thing.
Pride.
I try and do the same thing without falling over and like, you know. I got a 18.
Yep. You nimbly hop over onto the little island and even avoid stepping on the dwarf.
Yeah. From where I am, can I help the dwarf get up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I
As
try to-
he tries to help me get up, I shoo his help away and correct myself
Okay. Okay.
and sort of brush
Uh,
myself off.
Dragon, what are you doing during this?
He's muted.
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to make sure I didn't have outside noise. I tried to jump across to the open spot where the dwarf was trying to go.
All right.
Let me see if I get it. That's a 5 base. It's gonna be funny if I kill myself. Alright. We have 5, 6, 7. So the total is 7 with the attribute. Oh, I got acrobatics, so
Yeah, you can
that's
use
plus
that.
8. Yeah, I would like to use that.
All right. So as you leap over, and fear not, there's plenty of space for a dwarf, an elf, and a dragonborn on this little island. But as you jump across and try not to ram into the other two guys, you step in some snow as well, and you kind of are on the edge of this little island and just kind of do a little, your arms kind of whirling like, whoa, whoa, oh yeah, wait, I'm acrobatic, boom, and you catch yourself.
Okay.
So, Skellis, I see you're back in. Everybody, the rest of the party has basically all, with varying degrees of success, jumped across the small gap to the little island in the middle of the ice pond.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and follow.
All right. So I just need a dex check as you jump onto this small island over
Awesome.
the ice and snow.
I rolled an 18 plus 3 is 21.
Yeah, the tiefling leaps over the snow as if it was nothing. He actually kind of lands balanced on one foot and bows as if to announce his presence. So yeah, you're all on the little island.
Okay. I make the next big leap towards the fiery orb.
Just so you know, that is about a 10-foot leap.
Okay, I back up and I get a running start as I jump over the pit. That's not a pit. Lake.
I think we should have the elf do it.
Yeah, I can do fine. I have plus 8 acrobatics. So
Yeah.
So as the dwarf is backing up and kind of
The dwarf out of the water.
all of a sudden you just kind of put your hand on him. I think the elf should go.
yeah. Now I'm gonna roll a 1 or something. I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. 17.
That works.
Yeah, you leap across no problem. You nimbly land across the other side, and you are now standing next to this pedestal with the orb, and you actually feel a little bit of warmth emanating from it.
I try and inspect the pedestal. Like, what can I learn about it?
It looks identical to the one in the previous room.
Yeah,
the
but
orb
you
is
know,
hovering above it.
I think
What, are you looking for something specifically?
like if there are any runes on, any buttons, maybe a lever, anything like anything we haven't spotted last time. So can I roll perception?
You actually don't need a perception roll because it is a smooth, kind of roundish, wider at the base pedestal. There is not a rune. There is no levers.
Okay.
There's nothing decorating this.
Hmm.
I think I'm pretty sure what's going to happen again is pretty much the same thing that happened in the last room.
I draw
Yeah.
my sword and ready for what is inevitably going to happen.
Should I trigger the trap?
Grab it.
Yeah. Try and get.
Behind the dwarf.
So, this time we're gonna. Should we try something different and try and use the orb against elemental? Maybe.
No,
Could try that.
I think that orb is going to be a key to get out.
Maybe.
I don't think. I think
Yeah.
we should do like we did last time. Kill the
Okay.
element, get back out.
So I get the orb, and I pick it up from the pedestal, and
As
I
you,
start.
as you grab it, as you touch it, you feel warmth spreading across your body, and the bitter coldness of this room kind of just goes away. It actually feels pretty comfortable in here now. It reminds you of an autumn day in the woods. And
I start putting it in my pack.
it doesn't even require a perception check because you can all hear. At first, it's kind of lower sounding. You just hear kind of a. But you all kind of anticipated this, so you're at the ready. As you hear and even see cracks start to form in the ice, when suddenly, in 3 different spots, one kind of up in that corner up towards the left, one towards the right, kind of between the pedestal and the island, and one on the far side of the room, down near the door. 3 areas of ice just burst open, and you see these giant 10-foot tentacles burst out of the ice with wicked spikes at the end of them.
Huh.
Just as an explosion of ice and water into the room. And these tentacles rise up. Go ahead and roll for initiative.
All right.
Nice.
Initiative. Horrible.
All right. What's everybody got? Let's go Aoshin.
17.
Bradshaw.
5.
Oh.
And I
Dragon.
got 3.
And I thought I rolled low for the tentacles.
Oh yeah. The original roll was 1. With bonuses, it got to be a 3.
I was gonna ask who rolled the 1.
Skellis.
13.
Yeah, 2 of you rolled lower than the tentacles. So I need to check here. Okay. All right, so it is Aoshin. You are up. You have 3 rising. They're kind of a purplish, almost a pearlescent color to them, and obviously they're water and ice dripping off of them, and they're about 10-foot tentacles rising 10 feet out of the water with wicked spikes on the end of them.
So I go to tentacles and attempt to attack them. So first we do this. Okay. That's 19.
Are you attacking the one on the left or the right?
Let's say
There's
right.
2 kind of within yours, so it'd be the right. It'll be screen right.
Yeah,
okay. So I know which one you're attacking.
Okay, so 19 on the first attack. On the second attack, I have a 22. So both hit.
Yeah, those are both going to hit for sure.
5 and another 5 plus 10, 20 damage on the tentacle on the right. Using martial arts, when I make an attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, I can make another unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Yep.
So
indeed you can.
I make another one. That's 12.
So yeah, your first 2 hits are good, solid hits. You can feel something giving in the meat of this tentacle, but the last one just kind of glances off. It's pretty wet and slippery, and it wasn't a solid hit.
Okay, I QE every team. So that's my turn.
All right, that's going to be Skellis.
All right. I'm gonna do a couple Eldritch Blasts. Whichever one is closest to me.
Remind me real quick for. Go ahead and roll that while I'm looking something up real quick about the Eldritch Blast.
Okay, I have I have 2 of the invocations, the Eldritch, what's it called, agonizing and repelling. So I do extra damage and I pull it back every time I hit it. So identical rolls. I rolled both blasts. I rolled 20 to hit on both of them. Not natural.
All right, so the Eldritch Blast is a cantrip, and as you begin to cast this, and you haven't felt anything like this before, as you start to just do, as a cantrip, you just know you've done this thing 1,000 times. You know how to do this,
Yeah.
but as you begin to do your what you need to do to cast this. And I just had it, and I can't remember. Yeah. So as you're saying the words and just gesturing, you are racked with incredible pain at your core. It's actually hurting you. It's like a nauseating pain to try to cast the spell, and you have 2 choices here. You can either abandon this spell and try something else as your action, or you can try to push through the pain and cast anyway.
I'm going to try to push through the pain and cast anyways.
Okay, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 10? Probably.
So as you try to, you've never felt this before. You try to force these Eldritch Blasts through this pain, and it just proves to be too overwhelming for you. And you actually feel the power of your spell backfire on you, and you take 3 points of necrotic damage, and your spells just fizzle at your fingertips.
Oh.
Okay.
You have never experienced anything like this.
Did I notice anything that happened that caused this?
I will let you roll your choice. I will let you roll in Insight or an Arcana check.
We'll do an Arcana check. Well, no. I rolled a 4, got plus 3 to 7. So probably not.
Yeah, you have no idea what caused this, but it basically blew your action.
All right.
It is the tentacle's turn,
It pissed me off.
and so the tentacle that Aoshin attacked is going to attack Aoshin. The other one on that side of the room is going to... Let's see, Dragon... Well, you're all on the island, so... The second one is going to attack Dragon, and the third one is going to attack Bradshook. Just so you guys know, I assign you each a number, and I roll random for attack, just so you guys don't think I'm targeting you or trying to take you out.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, I'm trying to take you out, but not deliberately. So Aoshin, Tentacle is going to make an attack at you, and as the tentacle swings down, a 10 does not appear to hit you. You're able to easily dodge this swinging tentacle. At the same time, Brad Shook, a tentacle comes swinging at you with its pointy, icy spikes aimed right for you. Does a 15 hit you? It does not. So you're able to deflect as this one comes flying at you. And Dragon, does a 19 hit you?
A 19 will hit my AC, but I do have the feat parry. When
Okay.
damage, melee attack, use a random expand one superior die to reduce your damage, and roll the die plus 2. So I presume roll a d20.
That's the parry feat?
That's what I'm reading currently right here.
Yeah, I just want to I'm not doubting you in any way. I'm relatively new to the feats myself. So I just want to see. Oh wait, that's not a feat. That's a feature of one of your classes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I believe yes, that
Yeah,
is.
that's a battle master thing, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yep. When another creature damages you with a melee attack, you use your reaction and expend one superior die to reduce. Yeah, so when I roll damage on you, you'll expend a superiority die, and whatever that superiority die is, I'm not sure what your level is, so I'm not sure what your superiority die are. I think they're D8s, because you're 8th level. Well, I don't know what your fighter level is.
My fighter level is I took 3 levels in fighter.
So, yeah, it's still a D8. So you'll roll a D8 and add your dexterity modifier and reduce the damage by that much.
Okay.
So you are going to take... You're going to take this damage and you're going to like it. Let's see, that's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage, but you also, on top of that, take 2 points of cold damage, so 12 points total. So go ahead and roll your D8 and add your dex modifier and see how much you can deflect of that.
And that's roll 3 d8s, correct? Or 1?
It's just 1 per superiority die.
Alright. So that would be 7 plus my dex modifier. So that's 7, 8, 9.
So you're going to take 3 points of damage as this thing smashes into you, and you shrug off the cold damage. But it's at the same time that it hits you, it's trying to wrap around you, and I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw to avoid being grappled by it.
He has a +3 to that. I have Aura of Protection, and he's within 10 feet of me. So add 3 to your roll.
Thank you.
Saving throw. Awesome.
And my dex modifier is +2. Would I add acrobatics to that or no?
That's going to be just a straight dex saving throw, so no.
Okay. That sucks. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Unfortunately, that is not enough to avoid being grappled. So the tentacles wrap around you and you are grappled. On your turn, which is coming up shortly, you can attempt a strength check to break free.
Okay, if I don't do a strength check, since I'm a Dragonborn, can I just go ahead and just spit straight acid as my action directly onto the tentacle that's got me entangled?
Yeah. I mean, your mouth isn't wrapped up, so yeah, if you choose not to try to escape it, you could attack with your breath weapon. All right. The tentacles have all expended their turns. Brad Shook, you are up.
Finally. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a good use of my extra attack this time around. So, one of them is engaged with me, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to just straight up attack that with this sword. So that's just a straight up d20 roll. And that totals up to 18. The hit.
Yes.
So that's a d8. And then, so it takes a total of 10 slashing damage from that. And then, hold on real quick. Let me take a quick look at my spells. Okay, so I'm just going to attack it again with my sword.
How much? I'm sorry. How much slashing damage?
10.
Okay.
And then I take another swing at it for 21 points, or not points, to attack.
That's a hit.
Another d8 plus. Okay, so that's 9. Grand total of 19.
That's 9 more points of damage. So excellent. Brigadon, you're up.
Okay, so this might be full-headed, but I'm going to go ahead and try to expel acid directly in front of the tentacle to try to basically melt it off. So that would be. Do I just roll the hit as normal?
Actually, if I remember correctly, with the Dragonborn, I don't think you roll at all. I think.
You have to make a DC.
I think I have to make a save on that.
12.
Yeah, so you are a black Dragonborn. So you're shooting a 5 by 30 foot line, and that is a dex save. And you said that was what's the DC?
12.
12. I rolled a 13.
Shit. Oh, pardon my French.
So yeah, the tentacle, as you spit acid, it's almost as if, because it's wrapped around you, that it could feel the intake as your chest expanded to expel this acid, and it just kind of writhed in such a way that it actually it didn't dodge out of the way so much as it shifted your position so that your acid actually hit the ice instead of hitting the tentacle.
Gotcha.
And we are back at the top. Skellis, as a note, you actually feel that the remnants of the pain that was inflicting you from when you tried to cast your Eldritch Blast, it only hurt you while you were trying to cast, but you still felt that lingering effect. But as Dragon, finishes making his attack, you kind of feel the pain just dissipates completely. Eoshan, it is your turn.
So I go up to him, do an unarmed strike, obviously. Here we go. Oh shit, 10. That's 10 on the first one.
That is going to miss.
The second one is a 20. So I hit, I think.
Yep.
At 8 damage. Then I spend 1 key point to attempt Flurry of Blows. So 2 rolls, that's 23 on the first one, and 20 on the second one. I rolled 2d6, that's 5, and that's 3, so 14 damage, plus 10, so 24 damage total on Flurry of Blows. And I choose the effect that, let me see, he can't take reactions until the end of my next turn.
Well,
Nice.
I can guarantee you that he can't take action because as you land the last of your flurry of blows, that tentacle actually collapses across the ice and slowly slithers down below the surface.
Well done.
Okay.
Skellus.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, real quick, Aoshan, you have movement if you want to use it. I don't want to deprive you of that if you wish to move.
Yeah, I try and move as far away as the other tentacle as possible.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of move into the corner a little bit, away from the grasp of the other two.
Okay.
No problem. Skellus.
Okay, I'm going to try again with this Eldritch Blast tonight. I rolled a 10 and a 19.
The first blast. First of all, you do not feel any pain whatsoever. The first blast flies wide, but the second blast is a solid hit.
Oh, good. That's no good one. So, 7 plus 4 is 11 points of damage. And it,
Which one were you attacking?
the one closest to me.
Okay, so how much damage?
11 points of damage, and I knock it back 10 feet.
All right, so yeah, so you hit this thing with a good solid hit, and it actually, yeah, you actually knock it away from you. It doesn't physically move the tentacle because it's emerging from the ice, but it slams it against the side of the hole that it was sticking out of, and it kind of flails backwards on the opposite way of you. So it is the tentacle's turn. See, Aoshan, you're out. Brad Shook, you're getting attacked. And actually, I don't even need to roll that because Dragon, the one that's grabbing you, is going to attempt to slam you. But the other one, because it got knocked back, I'm going to make it roll with disadvantage to attack at Brad Shook.
Awesome.
That is a 16.
That does not hit.
It misses you. So, yeah, it kind of flails wide because of being knocked hard backwards. Dragon, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
This tentacle is attempting to slam you into the wall.
Add 3 to that.
Alright. That's 11, 13, 14, 15, plus 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 18 total.
Nice.
All right, so you actually are able to kind of get your feet around a little bit, and you still get slammed up against the wall, but you kind of absorbed some of the damage from it. So you are going to take 9, 10, 11, 12. You're going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you're thrown up against the wall. So you didn't take the full damage on that.
So that will be 8 plus my dex bonus. I just rolled a d8, so that would be 4 is what I got.
Okay, so you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
All right, Brad Shook.
Oh, I get to go again. Alright. So, there are 2 tentacles left, right?
Yep, one of them has the dragonborn wrapped up, and the other one's in front of you.
Alright, I guess I'll just attack the one in front of me again. So, it's just a long sword attack.
You get 2 of them, right?
Yeah. When you do a versatile strike, the damage is up to 1d10, right?
Yep, if you're using it with 2 hands, that is correct.
Alright, so I'm going to do that from now on. So, attack roll, that's 21 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And then d10 plus 6. Oh, nice, max damage. So that's 16 points of damage for the first hit.
There's no need to make a second hit because your
Yeah.
first hit severs the tentacle in half.
Nice.
And as the top half goes flying across the room, and the bottom half is just spewing this black ichor, Dragon, you feel the tentacle holding you release its grip on you, and it slides down, starts to slide down into the ice.
Before it
Into a
slides
place
down
by
into the ice, can I use the rest of my turn to try to attack it? See if I can finish it off.
It's well, yeah, actually, I guess you could.
Alright, so do you want me to roll?
Because you're
see
on
if
the
I can
island
hit.
still. So yeah, go ahead and roll a hit.
Alright. It's a total of 16 to hit.
It's a hit.
Versatile strike, so that's D10. More max damages, so that's another 16 points.
As it slithers below the ice, you take a big chunk out of the tentacle, blackening the ice with the ichor of this tentacle. All of the tentacles are sliced, defeated, or slipped below the ice, and you guys are out of combat.
I feel satisfied as I sheath this sword.
I don't. I want to call the tentacles to die. They cause me pain. Alright, door open.
Yeah, the door actually, once the tentacles slide away, the door clicks open.
What a surprise. Okay.
Now we have to figure out how this works. The two orbs, the two skulls, the two stars. How does the stars have anything to do with it?
You're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, I didn't miss that last part.
No, I don't think the stars. I don't know if the stars have anything to do with it. We have two skulls and two orbs, and we have to figure out this.
Oh.
Alright,
Yeah.
What we do with them to get to move on in this.
so I'm gonna. The door's open, so I'm gonna walk through back into our main room here. And
The
I'm
blue
gonna.
skull is following your every step.
Yeah. So I pull out this orb and approach the skull with it
All right.
in hand.
So
When
there's
you
a
get-
red skull and a blue skull.
Yeah. So as you get within 5 feet of this skull, you feel you're holding the orb in your hand.
Yeah.
You feel it suddenly lifts. It just lifts up out of your hand. It kind of hovers above your hand for a moment, and the skull, its eyes, the blue skull's eyes light up with a red fire, and it opens its mouth, and you see beams of orange light emanating from its eyes, nose, and mouth that shoot across and connect with the sphere that is now hovering above your hand. And it starts to draw the sphere toward itself, and as it does, the jaw opens impossibly wide, and the sphere is pulled inside the blue skull's mouth, and it closes, and it just begins glowing with this blue magical energy. The orange skull has turned and is looking at Aoshin.
I take my orb out also, and I approach the skull.
Same thing happens with the skull as you approach it. That with the light, and it opens and it absorbs it in, except when it does this, you actually hear as that both skulls now have these orbs inside them. You feel a deep emanating from your feet up. You just feel this, and then you hear as the serpent statue, the dais, and everything begins sliding backwards.
Nice.
revealing a stairway descending down into the depths.
Cool. So who's going first?
I'm pretty much a tank, so
There you go. I'm fine with that.
yeah. I'll take all the hits.
I love that the little dwarf standing next to the giant dragonborn just said, "I'm the tank."
I look down and I like.
Small
I've
man.
seen Stranger Things.
Alright, so I walk down the stairway
Okay.
with great confidence.
Let's see what I can do to shake that confidence. All right, guys. I'm going to call a quick 5-minute break. I need to refill my coffee, and I need to take a leak. We'll take a good, just a quick 3 to 5 minute break, and we'll pick up with the second floor of the mummy tomb.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
For those of you watching, according to this, we have 2 viewers right now, and I thank you for watching at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to thank you for watching. We had a few technical difficulties at the beginning, but we seem to be clicking along now. I want to remind you to head on over to BrigadeCon.org. Go ahead and click on the Child's Play widget so you can donate to Child's Play charity to raise funds for children in children's hospitals and domestic abuse shelters to get video games, board games, toys, and things like that. And you can also purchase BrigadeCon t-shirts and hoodies and such from the BrigadeCon page. When this game is done in a couple hours, I encourage you to head on over to other places that are hosting games and watch other games. I will be I believe it's at 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and I can't remember the time. Just check on BrigadeCon.org. But there are giveaways that are happening. I will be hosting a live giveaway of some prize packs at 7 a.m. right here on youtube.com/WeNeedTerrainDomain. And I will be hosting a terrain and tabletop gaming panel at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time to 12 noon. I will be playing in WASD20's Subterranean Subterfuge game, and I am hosting Wards of Witching Ways right here on this channel from 8 p.m. to midnight. So again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. see Matt is back.
I'm back too.
All right, Andreas is there.
Prison.
Zachary. And Juvet appears to be gone. I got a fresh giant thing of coffee. I just almost spilled down my front. Now, let me pop over here and see the Q&A. I don't see anything on the Q&A. Yeah.
I know that was a thing.
Yeah, you guys should be able to click on that and see. Apparently, I missed it, Andreas, when I couldn't. Looking at Facebook and everything else, you were obviously trying desperately to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
And I missed that stuff.
It's okay. I was also on YouTube.
But,
I commented on your video, but I deleted it like a few minutes ago.
yeah, I don't know why. Now, this is the part where I would like to look at the comments on the YouTube channel, but for some reason, I'm going to have to figure that out for my other broadcast. But for some reason, the live chat is not working on my show. So I'm not really sure why that is. But, Juvet, are you back? I see your
Yes,
picture
I am.
changed. Okay, all right. Well, we're just past the halfway mark, so without further ado, let's get back into it. All right, so you guys head down the stairs, and you find yourself in a relatively narrow, about 10-foot wide hallway. The hallway is patterned in tiles that are kind of in squares and circles. The first thing that you notice that seems kind of odd to you, there's two things, or rather three, that you notice that stick out. The first thing is, at the end of this 40-foot long hallway is a large stone fountain with the back panel of the fountain appears to be solid gold. And there's a golden skull out of its mouth is pouring clear, just refreshing looking water into a basin that is then spilling out into a larger base of the fountain. The other things you notice is kind of partway down the hall, on either side are two large wooden doors with golden gargoyle heads mounted on them looking into the hallway.
This looks familiar. So do the gargoyle heads like follow us when we move?
They don't. They appear to be golden heads.
As I'm in the front, I sort of cautiously proceed through the hallway, and I want to investigate this fountain.
I follow behind.
Appears to be, especially after 7 days in the desert, this appears to be crystal clear water flowing from the skull into this fountain.
Something fishy about that.
There are, in fact, no fish in the fountain. Sorry, it's 2 a.m. You're getting bad DM jokes.
I say, I believe it's what they call a mirage.
Well, let's find out. I sort of scoop some water into my hands and take a sip.
It's definitely not a mirage. You feel cold, refreshing water. It seems impossibly cool, given that you're in a temple in the middle of the desert. And you take a sip of this water, and as you take a sip of this water, you feel a magical energy that you're very familiar with as a paladin. This water just flows into your body, and you feel that you are just covered in some kind of protection. And for the next 30 minutes, you have the effects of a bless spell on you.
Oh, cool. What does that do?
I just go get.
That means that any attack roll or saving throw ability check, you roll a d4 in addition and add that to your total.
Nice.
So I just go over to the fountain and start like drinking the water desperately.
Yeah, I tell everybody, guys, this water seems to have given me
All right,
a
Aoshin,
divine blessing.
you start slurping the water. Oh. And yeah, so you're slurping the water down. Does anybody else rush over?
I wait to see what happened to everybody else before I drink.
Yeah,
Skillis?
I go get a drink. Yes.
Okay. Skillis, you're also scooping water. And Brad Shook, as you kind of stepped out of the way, because you're literally feeling blessed, Aoshin and Skillis, you're scooping water into your mouth. And Dragon and Brad Shook, as they kind of look up, you just notice at the same time that Skillis and Aoshin, the water actually in your mouth turns to coppery, metallic taste. And you're kind of right next to each other, and you realize as you scoop your hands up that the water has become viscous, and you're no longer scooping water into your mouth, but you're scooping warm blood into your mouth.
Ugh.
And Dragon and Bradshook, you see that the water has turned to blood, and they just have blood dripping down their faces. Skillis and Aoshin, for the next 30 minutes, you are under the effects of the Bane curse, which means you will also roll a d4
But I subtract.
with all of your checks, but you will subtract it from your roll.
Shit.
All right.
Okay.
And Dragon, you are unaffected because you chose not to drink. I mean, you can still take a drink if you want.
No, I'm good. I like being the passive one, as I have.
So,
But this isn't my first time to have blood running down my face. The can I pull this golden skull from this where it's sitting?
Can you pull the skull out? You said.
Yes.
It's actually it's kind of like molded into the pattern of the wall. It's not like a separate skull.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I could like just lodge it with a dagger or something.
have you both been? They've both been cursed, right?
I think I have this item that it prevents me from having diseases. So if that's a disease, then
It is not a disease. That item does not help you in this case.
As a paladin, I have the ability to cure curses by laying on hands. So, if you would like, I can get that off you.
can you? Okay, I have no problem.
I come up to both of you. I come up to both of you and put my hands on your shoulders. And
Okay.
like I transfer this pool of energy I have onto both of you for a total of 10 points, because it takes 5 points each. And so
But
you
the
guys
real
should
question
be
is,
cured of the curse.
okay, the real question is, how can you reach up to our shoulders
Oh,
when you're a dwarf?
I reach up. I reach up to your shoulders.
As high as you can reach.
As high as I can reach. And I touch you.
Okay.
Lay on hands. You guys don't have that curse anymore. And I have only 30 points left.
So
Thanks.
yeah, so you do not feel the effects of the Bane curse. You still taste the coppery flavor of blood in your mouth.
It is no worry, my friends.
And behind you, in the hallway, you hear Behind you in the hallway, you hear, "They drank the blood!
What?
I did not expect them to drink from the fountain."
From which door? Or is it none though?
Can we see who's doing the talking?
So as you turn around,
Yeah.
you see that both of the gargoyle heads have their eyes open and are looking at you. And the one on the right kind of shakes his head back and forth, and he goes, "You adventurers just can't resist drinking from the fountain, can you?"
I can.
And the one on the left kind of looks up and sizes you up, Dragon, and he goes, "Yes, but it's good for every adventuring party to have at least one sensible fellow."
My mother taught me that way. Whenever in a dungeon, do not automatically presume to drink the water in the dungeon. Let others drink and then watch to see what happens.
Very wise indeed, my draconic friend. You
Bows graciously.
It has been... You are the second Dragonborn I've seen in these halls in the last 10 years.
Have you seen... I am in search of my mother. Is she still alive?
Oh dear. I'm afraid that you and your friends here are the only living beings in the tomb.
Or can you direct me towards her remains?
I'm afraid we can't do that. You have to make the choice for yourself. I'm afraid my rather uncouth friend is telling the truth. I cannot tell you through which one of us you should pass. But rest assured, there are no riddles or games here. You must simply choose whether you will pass through my door or you will travel through my door.
And, okay.
Huh.
So, Paladin, do you have any kind of divination magic there? You can divine us something on your choice?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. I could detect evil and good. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to concentrate. And I'm going to utter a... I don't know. I'm going to say something. And do a motion. And I'm casting Detect Evil and Good. And I want to kind of direct this to either door. And I want to see if I can get an idea for if either side has more of a sense of evil, so that I can not go in that direction. So I cast Detect Evil and Good.
Yeah, so you simply have to concentrate for up to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, what you can tell is that evil is emanating from every direction. Senses of desecration and everything are definitely coming from all directions. You do detect a slightly stronger presence of evil to the left than you do to the right.
Do I detect any sort of good, or any, like, I'm trying to think how I might detect We have here Dragon, is it? His
Mm-hmm.
mother.
You, as you're concentrating on this spell, you sense in the same direction that you feel a slightly higher concentration of evil. In your senses, this evil seems to appear almost as wisps of dark smoke, and you get the faintest hint of light, the faintest hint of good in the midst of the swirling black smoke.
And this is to the left.
Correct.
Okay, so after I take a while to examine what I have picked up from this spell, I break my concentration and I look over to Dragon and I say, if you'd like to find your mother, I suggest we go to the left.
Fine. Then I start heading towards the left.
I follow.
So you're able to push the door open. Both of the gargoyle heads kind of in unison go, "The choice has been made." And as you push open the door on the left, the gargoyle head recedes, just kind of melds into the wood of the door. And behind you, the other gargoyle head melds into the wood of the door, and the door itself just kind of fades away, leaving only a blank brick wall behind it. And the door you're pushing on opens. And
Well, let's
you
make our choice.
see you see what looks like a little something like this.
Solid.
So you're coming in from the right-hand side, kind of in the middle, and as you walk in, you see this roughly 40-foot by 40-foot room with 3 large stone sarcophagi on the other side. And on the south, you can just kind of make it out in this image, is another set of wooden doors, and one door is slightly ajar. The walls are the same brick that you've seen throughout, with some alcoves around this room. The floor has on the side where the sarcophagi are, there appears to be an inlay of gold and silver. And as you pass into the room, the door closes behind you, but at the same time it kind of simultaneously melds into the wall, leaving a blank brick wall where there was a door that you just passed through.
That's not good. Okay, so before we do anything in this room, I'd like to cast the 2nd level Abjuration of Aid, which gives 3 allies that I can select, and there's 3 allies I have, a bonus 5 hit points to their maximum and their current. So you can increase your maximum and give yourself 5 temporary hit points, I believe. This lasts for an amount of hours that I can't specify because this printout's number is not present. So I'm going to look up how long
8
that
hours.
lasts. Oh, alright, great.
8 hours.
So for 8 hours, you guys have an extra 5 to your maximum and current.
Okay.
So that's a little
Well,
buff.
just to be clear, those are actual hit points, not temporary
they are?
hit points.
My bad then.
Yep.
So would
Alright,
that add
so you guys
on
all-
to your? So that adds on to our current max permanently?
No.
Yeah,
It's
for
just
the
for
next
the 8
8
hours.
hours.
But then your current health points, if you lost any, also increases by 5. So it heals you 5 points, kind of. And this is for 8 hours.
All right.
Alright.
Anybody else want to do anything else?
So there's the 3 sarcophagi in the room.
That is correct.
I look to the wizards like, do you sense anything from
I
the
kind
coffins?
I walk up to the sarcophagi, and I'd like to do a history check to see if I recognize any carvings on them, if I might be able to detect who might be in here.
Roll it up.
All right. History is a +2, 3.
Don't forget your extra D4.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're blessed.
So I have a 12 on the, and then 16 with that D4. So I rolled a 16.
Looking over these sarcophagi, you are able to determine that the persons that were buried within them were highly honored servants of Hyceneroth, the cleric king, to have been given sarcophagi within the tomb of the Mummy Lord. They had to be pretty important advisors or generals or something to him to be given specific burial space within the tomb.
I
So
looked
there
at
are. Yeah.
I look to Dragon, and I sort of shake my head like, no, your mother's not in one of these. Kind of give him one of those kind of looks, like.
I
And
breathe a sigh of relief.
and as you breathe a sigh of relief, and Brad Shook, as you kind of turn to look at Dragon and say this, and you kind of go, oh, phew. From behind Brad Shook, you see a form rise up from within the stone of the sarcophagus. It passes through. It is a large, kind of glowing blue and white form, celestial form, or not celestial, spiritual form uh, of a ghostly visage of a dragonborn female.
I look back in horror.
And you definitely recognize this visage
I
as this ghost speaks your name. Dragon!
I approach.
I sort of step out of the way as I realize, like, that there's something behind me.
I whispered to the paladin, maybe you should try and detect evil and good.
Well, I don't want to burn another spell slot. I gotta save those for attacks, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of a leftover effect of your detect evil and good. This ghost feels like the beacon of light you sensed in the midst of all of the dark.
So,
And
alright.
the ghost looks at you, Dragon, and attempts to reach out for you in a way that you remember your mother would reach out to stroke the crest of your head,
I reach out as well.
and you pass through one another. And her ghostly visage looks kind of sadly at you, and she says, "You have come for me, Dragon.
Yes, mother.
Why have you risked yourself?"
I would expect you would do the same for me. So I came. And you knew I wasn't ever the smartest one in the bunch.
Oh.
Always
Right.
headstrong and always brash, my precious Dragon. But you are in a place of evil. Hyceneroth knows you are here.
So I say, I will bring you back. I approach the sarcophagi that she's supposed to be in and proceed to lift up the lid of the sarcophagi.
As you start to lift it, she goes, "Wait!
What?
This is not my burial casket.
Where are you? I still have the amulet. I can bring you back.
What you see before you is all that remains of me. But if you wish to bring me back, that is your choice, my son. But perhaps you should save the magic of that amulet for yourself."
Myself be damned. I will bring you back to the living.
"I long to touch your scales again, my son. I
And you
cannot
will.
lie." So you're going to use your amulet to resurrect your mother?
That is correct.
Very well then. So as you kind of grasp the amulet, you don't by chance have a... Let me check and see if it's even in here. The magical energy begins to flow, and you guys can all see this, begins to flow from the amulet. And she is... her ghostly form begins to take a solid shape. And it takes a few moments before you can feel the magical energy just dissipate out of this amulet, and then her complete physical form stands before you. What kind of an adventurer was your mother? What would be her class if she were an adventurer?
I'm going to say Ranger.
Okay.
Choice.
Okay. So your mother stands before you, and she has her her armor and her weapons as she would have had when she was adventuring herself. But you can see immediately as she kind of forms, and as she started to form, she stepped forward, so she was no longer a part of the sarcophagus. She steps forward, and as she solidifies, she steps forward and embraces you. And as she embraces you and you embrace her back, you feel her kind of sag a little bit. And she says, "The resurrection has taken so much out of me." Yeah, she's just like, I feel weak.
I take her to the corner and sit her down.
And she lets you lead her, and she says, I am so glad to be reunited with you, Dragon. But we haven't much time.
We have all the time in the world. We can leave this place.
He will not let us. His generals are rising. And mechanically, the way this is going to work is whenever it is your turn, your mother will also get to take an action. And I have stats for her here. She basically has a longbow attack and a sword attack. But all of her stats are reduced by 4. It is a side effect of resurrection that it actually takes several days for the full effects to be overcome. So she is going to be functioning at disadvantage, but she essentially is an NPC that will move where you tell her to move, or basically what I'm saying is you can kind of control her. and
if
determine
if
how she's going to
if I
attack.
yeah, if I had it my way at this point in time, because I'm part former military, due to the fact that I know that she just told me this, I will probably have her sat in the back out of the way of danger, and probably wouldn't have her engage in battle.
Okay.
Since I just got her back, I don't want her to, like, I don't know, get shot in the face and die within like 30 seconds.
Right. Well, yeah. So just let me know if you want to have her do any kind of attacks or anything, and I'll have you do those rolls, and I'll tell you what to add to that, and we'll just roll it from there.
Yeah, and if she does do attack, it's probably going to be all range, so that way she doesn't have to get in the midst of anything.
Yep. She has a longbow, and she gets a +2 to hit with that longbow. So,
All right.
and so as you kind of set her down, and you're just saying, "Mom, I want you to stay out of the action. I don't want to lose you again." And she says, "They rise, my son." And you actually hear stone on stone as across the room the lids of the 3 sarcophagi all begin to slide aside. And 3 mummies emerge from the sarcophagi.
Here we go.
You didn't think you were going to come into the tomb of the mummy lord and not encounter mummies, did you?
Like, no.
So I have one quick mechanical question. Have we had enough time for a short rest to occur? From the time
no.
Okay.
Nope, there has not been. Short rest is an hour in 5e. So as of yet, there has not been time for a short rest.
Oh.
Perhaps we could find time after this fight.
All right, everybody roll initiative. Find my mummies.
I'm really good at rolling,
his mommy.
except for when it's initiative.
What?
I'm really good at rolling when it's not initiative.
Yeah.
I guess it's just my dwarven nature.
Okay, Aoshin.
Oh, sorry, 20.
Nice.
All right. Brad Shook.
That'll be an 8.
Dragon.
I am trying to find that right now on my character sheet. The initiative modifier.
It's at the middle, almost at the top on the middle section.
Yeah, that is a +2. I haven't taken any damage, so that will be 11. 13.
Scalus.
I rolled a 1, so
Oh,
You got 3.
that's the second time that's happened to you, I believe.
Clap, clap.
And Dragon, why don't you go ahead? Well, no, I said she was going to go on your turn, so never mind. I was going to have you roll initiative for your mom, but she goes on your initiative count. So,
That's fine.
Aoshin, you're at the top of the initiative order, and 3 mummies are slowly lurching towards you from... They've basically, at this point, just crawled out of... They basically just crawled out of the sarcophagi. So what are you going to do, Aoshin?
So I'm gonna approach one of the mummies. Do they all look the same, or does one of them like look more superior, stronger?
They all look the same. For the sake of tracking them from the top to the bottom, using the picture as reference, they are going to just be Mummy 1, 2, and 3.
Sure. So I go ahead and attack Mummy 1. Roll unarmed strike. I got, that is 14, I believe. Yeah. No.
Yep,
17.
That is going to be a hit.
So 1d6. That's 10 damage on the first attack. I do my extra attack. Oh shit. Stop falling off. Okay, there we go. 14.
Also a hit.
Nice.
And that's 7 damage on my extra attack. And I use my martial arts to make a third attack as a bonus action.
Excellent.
So that's 23.
Definitely.
Yep. 10 damage.
Great.
I'm just
Okay.
picturing this elf running up and just chow, 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 going all Bruce Lee on these mummies. Well, on everything, really.
That's Monk in a nutshell. Bruce Lee. So, yeah, past my turn.
All right. Dragon, you are up.
Alright. So. Let me see here. I am going to proceed to go ahead and pull out my scimitars and proceed to do. I think I'm going to do Barbarian Rage. Then we'll enter a rage and get +2 to my strength, +2 to my damage rolls.
All right.
And it ends if I'm knocked unconscious or your turn's in and you haven't attacked.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So which one are you attacking?
The closest one near me.
So that would be number 2, the middle one, because that's kind of where your mother had initially emerged. Well, no, I take that back. That'd be 3, because you kind of moved her off to the corner. So, yeah.
And I'll send you back to where you come, and then I proceed to rush at the monster.
It just seems terrifying, a dragonborn raging.
That is a 12, and they're supposed to be a modifier, correct? Base roll.
Yeah, whatever your weapon attack modifier would be.
That would be a +1, so that would be a 13.
This should be higher than that. What are you attacking with?
2 scimitars.
And those are you using your strength or your dexterity for that? So I think
Strength.
scimitars are finesse. So you'd add your strength bonus, but you'd also add your proficiency bonus, which is 3. So what's your strength modifier?
3+.
So you should actually be attacking. You should be attacking with a +6.
+6. Okay, so 12 + 6.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
Yeah.
So that's with the first scimitar.
Okay. And then let's roll the other one. Crit 1. It's on the screen.
Like, slow clap.
Oh, so wait, I wasn't looking at the screen, so when you said crit, I was like, oh man, this is going to be big, and then you said 1. Oh, there it is, that big old 1. So why don't we go ahead and, on your first attack, let's roll the damage on the first one.
Okay, that should be... God, I hate when I roll once.
And then I'll tell you what happens.
Okay. So that's 1d6 + 3.
Yep.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right. So you come in swinging with this first attack, and you just wail into this mummy. Some dry bandages go flying and some desiccated skin. And because you're in this rage, you swing with your second scimitar. And you're just so focused in this rage, or rather not focused, I should say, that you just swing so viciously and so wide, you actually spin around almost 180 degrees and provoke an opportunity attack from the mummy.
Alright.
And it is going to reach out at you with its fist, throwing its fist at you. And I do not believe this. I just crit failed with the mummy.
Nice.
Thank you,
Wow.
So,
Thank
as
you,
it
Buffer Mutt.
lurches at you, it actually wasn't completely out of the sarcophagus, and it trips over its own bandages, and it actually falls prone at your heels because you kind of have your back turned to it. Wow,
Okay.
I've never had that happen. A crit
That is the
fail in
blessing.
response to a crit fail.
That was the blessing for Buffer Mutt. I choose Buffer Mutt as my deity. That was a blessing. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go. I love it. So you do have movement if you want to use it, or that's your turn.
I guess movement. I will basically turn around and get in position to chop the mummy's head off next turn.
All right, Broadshook, you're up.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, so there are 3 mummies. One of them is prone. I'm gonna move to the, I guess, rightmost mummy. If that's has it been attacked?
One, 2, or 3. From the top down, they're 1, 2, and 3. The one in the middle has not been attacked yet.
I'm gonna attack mummy number 1.
All right, that's the one that Aoshin attacked.
I'm gonna attempt to mess it up pretty bad.
Okay.
For a bonus action, I utter a word in Dwarvish and cast Thunderous Smite, and then versatilely strike it with my longsword.
And don't forget your blessing.
Yeah, so that's an extra d4 to the attack roll. All right. That's actually good. A total of, I want to say 18 to a hit. Okay, so
Sorry, I
that's a
was
hit.
drinking coffee. Yes, that is a hit.
Okay, and so the attack deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage, and for 300 feet, thunder is heard as I strike this mummy. So
yeah, roll your regular damage.
Yeah. So do I add the d4 to that as well?
No,
All
you
right.
do not.
Okay. But it is versatile, so I can add. So it's a d10, and then I add 6, and then I'll roll the 2d6 after that. So start that off with 10, and then 2d6, bring it up to 18, and it has to make a strength saving throw against, I believe, my spell save DC, which is 13, or it will be pushed 10 feet back and knocked prone.
Yeah, I got a 23 on the saving throw.
Okay, so you passed that, and so it just succeeds. I don't think there's anything if you pass it. And then I'm going to use my second attack on it, and I want to Divine Smite it with the same sword. So
Okay.
I'm going to cast that at 2nd level. Let me just check my slots real quick so I'm not... Yeah, so I have 1 slot left in the 1st level, and now I have 1 slot left in the 2nd level. I'm going to Divine Smite it at 2nd level, which adds... Well, here, let's see if I hit it first. Add that d4 in there. 14 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay, good. I rolled a 4, but all my adding worked out nicely. So I'm going to do the Divine Smite, which is used with the melee attack. It adds 2d8, and I'm casting it at 2nd level, so that's 3d8, and the mummy is undead, I believe. So
Yes.
that's adding 4d8, so a grand total of, and I'm versatilely striking, so it's 4d8 and 1d10 plus 6 damage to this.
Good Lord.
So I wanna for dramatic effect roll that all at once. So get this d10, get the 4d8, and then I'll add 6 to this. Alright, so that's 7, 10, 18, and the versatile strike 6, so 24. So I deal 30 damage with my divine smite.
So as you come in with your attack, you come swinging your sword in, and the rest of you in the room are just, what you see is he comes in, this dwarf grasps this longsword with 2 hands, swipes at the mummy, and you see wrappings come flying as you hear as the room fills with thunder. And then he swings the sword around for another attack, and where there was a mummy a moment before, you see a brilliant flash of radiant light, and all that remains is a few singed wrappings that kind of flutter to the floor as you completely obliterate that mummy.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Nicely done.
Alright, and with that, I'm gonna go relieve myself.
He's so excited by his kill, he's got to pee. The remaining 2 mummies are going to go, and the mummy at Dragon's feet uses all of its movement to struggle to its feet, and it is going to attempt to strike out at you, Dragon. Ah, you get this dice.
What was that one?
And that was another 1.
Oh, dude, you need to take your
With the
dice
same
and soak
die.
in some salt
Yeah,
water
you
and
know-
see if they're unbalanced.
This
Dissect
this
them.
exact die, I used it on this same adventure a couple weeks ago and rolled 3 1s on it. So this die is out of play. That one still counts. So
I mean,
yeah,
you
so
can
the
keep the
mummy,
1 dice. I'm all for the number 1.
right? Yeah, I definitely won't use it when I play in my game later in WASD20's game. So yeah, so this mummy struggles to its feet, and as it lurches for you, it's like unraveling itself, and it actually falls to its knees in front of you, and provokes an opportunity attack from you.
And I have returned.
Good.
Alright, I'm
Okay,
back.
So, all right. So the mummy just stumbled over its feet, over its wrappings, and fell to its knees in front of you, provoking an opportunity attack.
I would like to try to do coup de grace to chop his bloody head off.
Go ahead, roll that up. Roll with advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
Can you explain the advantage rules real quick?
All you do is you roll 2 d20s and take the highest one.
Then that would be the 17,
Good.
and
Yep.
with the bonuses added on, because that was just a natural 17.
Should be
Plus
at
6.
23, I believe.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely hit it.
Okay. And then roll for damage.
Yep.
Is there any rules for coup de grace rolls or no?
Unfortunately, there aren't like the classical coup de grace, so this is basically just a straight attack on it.
Oh. So you can't you do call shots anymore in the 5th ed or no?
In 5th There is not a called shot.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So that is 5. Okay. Plus 3. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8.
You're raging, aren't you?
Yeah. 9, 10, 11 points of damage. Because I get plus 2 for
Right.
the raging. Attack bonus was plus 1. A total of 1 attack. And I think that's basically... And proficiency bonus of 3.
Now, yeah, so you can't... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You can't. You basically do exactly what you were trying to do. This mummy is so clumsy and tripping over itself, it basically knelt before you and offered its neck that you obliged by pushing your sword through it, and the mummy's head goes rolling off into the corner as it drops to the ground.
Wonderful.
One mummy remains, and that mummy is, let's see, that's closest to, that is going to attack Bradshook.
Ooh.
It
I'm
just
scared.
tried. So first, it like lunges with its fist at you.
Yeah.
But it's also, as it misses you with its fist, it just stares into your soul. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright, and I get a plus 3 on that because of my aura of protection. And I get the D4, right?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Nice. I rolled an 18 straight up. So with the D4, that's a total of 23.
It was attempting to use its dreadful glare on you to frighten you, and you're just not fazed by it. Not only that, you, for the next 24 hours, are immune to the dreadful glare of mummies.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Skellis, it is your turn.
Oh, hey. All right. So there's only the one in the middle. I'm going to throw a couple Eldritch Blasts into it.
Nice, nice. I want to see what this is.
All right.
I'm trying to use the dice roller, but I don't know how to use it, so I'm going to use the regular dice. Okay. So I got a 23 modified and a 16.
Those both hit.
Okay.
Nice.
The first one did 13 points of damage. The second one did 6. I did 19.
Okay. Yeah, so these blasts just, I mean, some of the wrappings on this mummy are just singeing at the edges as your Eldritch Blast slams into it. But it does not knock it down. Aishin, you're up.
It will knock it back, though, but...
Oh, it knocks it back?
Yeah, all my Eldritch Blasts, they always knock them back. In feet if they hit it. And they hit them technically, that'd be...
It doesn't fall over, but it does get pushed back up against the sarcophagus. And Aishin, you're up.
Okay, so how many mummies are left?
One.
One. Okay, so I go to that mummy. I attack it. So that's 24 for my first attack. I roll 6 damage total, and second attack is 19. I roll 11 damage total, and I'm gonna use my martial arts to make the third attack, and that's like 25 attack roll.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
another 10 damage.
Good lord. Yeah, so you walk up to this mummy like you've just had enough with mummies. And you just walk up to it and you're just like, "Foo-pa, foo-pa, kick!" And as you like kick your foot up into where its groin would be, your foot just keeps going and you split this mummy mostly in half. And it
Nice.
collapses in a pile of dust and wrappings.
Cool.
And you guys are out of combat.
Nice.
Sweet.
And Aoshin, since you are standing right next to the sarcophagus, where you just disintegrated this mummy or split this mummy, as the dust and the wrappings are kind of settling, you can't help but notice the glittering gold and jewels inside the sarcophagus.
Who has detect magic?
I do, but
Can you? Yeah. You don't have to spend the spell slot if you concentrate for 10 minutes and cast it as a ritual.
oh really?
Yeah.
You didn't have those, I don't think.
I know that. All right. So I take the next 10 minutes to do this. Then
Yeah, so as you spend 10 minutes concentrating and creating this ritual to detect magic,
utter
you
dwarven words.
determine that, and you guys are just kind of wandering around or peeking in, you can clearly see that each of the sarcophagi contains very large sums of gold, gems, and other things seem to be glittering in there, and you definitely detect magic in each one of these sarcophagi.
Yeah, but are the gems emanating something?
None of the treasure itself, the coins or gems or anything, is emanating magic.
This treasure,
But there
gems,
seems to be
gold.
magical items within.
Well, the gems and gold seem to be normal. I don't think that they're cursed or anything.
I defer
know.
to my mother for advice to see if she knows anything when she was down here about the jewels and money.
I'm seeing some sort of magical items within these sarcophagi. With this knowledge, I like to look into one of them.
Well, yeah, and Dragon's mother says, she says, I know that these mummies were chief lieutenants of Hyceneroth, and they all had been gifted powerful magical items and weapons, as have others elsewhere within the domain of Hyceneroth. I don't know what each of them carried, but I know that they provided some benefit to them. When I was here in life, and she kind of catches herself and says, well, the first time.
I chuckle back.
She says, I did not encounter the mummies in this room. I met my demise in the next room.
What's in the next room?
I wonder if it would be my body, but also the body of a giant monster. But she says, I would imagine if your paladin here has detected this magic and detects no curses, I think these things could only benefit you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for it, and it's okay if I like die. So I just let's
all of a sudden everybody wants to reach in for the magic stuff.
Yeah, one person go in first. Just,
I'll take a risk.
I look over the magical items, but I don't touch them. Not yet.
All right, so who's grabbing stuff out of the sarcophagi?
I am.
Let's see.
I will.
Wait.
I'll grab stuff out of. I'll start going for the gold.
There's basically one item in each sarcophagus.
I try
One
and
magical item.
get one magical item. Like what? The coffin in front of me. What does it contain? Sword.
So here's what the three of you find. Is Aoshin. You find a set of magical bracers. Skellis, you find a magical headband. And Bradshook, you find a magical ring.
So I'm guessing the headband is the headband of intellect. I think. I don't know what the braces are. Ring. There's a lot of rings in this game.
Would you like me to examine your items?
Yeah, sure.
For that purposes. All right. So I sort of collect everyone's weapons or items. I would say weapons. And
You run off.
no, no. I do my ritual again. I sort of examine them.
Yeah, you actually don't need to do it again.
Yeah, I kind of.
As part of the casting of that ritual, yes, you've determined that the headband of intellect, it is in fact a headband of intellect, and it will grant the wearer an intelligence score of 19, which would be a +4 to intelligence.
Who is intelligence based?
This headband is a very powerful headband, and it can basically, if you put it on, it makes you smarter.
Give that
The bracers are, in fact, bracers of defense.
Oh, yes.
Whosoever wears these bracers will gain a +2 bonus to armor class.
So then I relay that information. I say, in non-technical terms, like armor class, I use that word. I say, these bracers shall provide extra protection to whoever wears them.
And the ring is a ring of protection that offers a +1 bonus to AC.
I also relay that. So, who here has the lowest AC?
My mother.
That's probably correct. What's your mother's AC at?
Her armor class is 13.
13. I'm concerned.
I can turn her invisible, and she can stay invisible for the next couple hours.
Yeah.
I would. Okay, then let's do that. Let's turn her invisible, and so that way she doesn't get hit. And I look at her like, "Are you gonna be fine with that, mother?"
Yes, Dragon, if you think that is best.
I think at this time, with your weakened state, that would be the best way to keep you out of fire. Just put your hand on my shoulder when we leave out this room, and tap it to let me know you stop walking.
Okay.
Very well.
So, our tiefling, was it Warlock? Is that what you are, Skillis?
I'm a warlock. I'm a charisma caster, so intelligence isn't one of my primary things, and I'm not a skill monkey either.
So is your AC is it low?
I have a 17.
Okay, that's good. That's high. And what is yours? Let's see if I can remember again. Aosha.
I have 18 armor class also.
Okay, so we all have high armor classes. Dragon, what's yours?
16.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so-
give it +2 to Dragon.
Yeah, we'll give you the bracers.
Okay.
And
That gives Dragon. That gives you an 18 armor class now.
I wanted this. Okay.
I sort of
Just
slipped
so
on.
you know, I randomly rolled these magic items, and I gave all of you already have high AC, and you rolled up high AC. Give
Yeah.
AC bonuses.
So since I found the ring, I sort of just I slip it on.
So now you have an 8. You now have an 18 AC.
I have an 18/19 because I bear a shield. I don't use it commonly, but I still have a shield. So
You determine as a part of the magic that a shield will override the magic of the bracers.
so I just have a 18 no matter what.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'll just keep that as 18 then, and I won't use my shield anymore.
All
right.
Headband. So
Just taking headband.
Aosha, do you want to
So
take that headband?
Actually, I'm gonna give it to the person with the highest intelligence, so you can roll higher on intelligence rolls because I already have -1.
Well,
So
my intelligence right now is at 10, so I get a
10.
+0. So if I were to wear that, I would have a plus, like it would bring it up.
Does anyone else have an intelligence higher than 10?
I do. I have an 11.
well, the way regardless of what your score is,
Yeah.
you will have an intelligence score of 19 if you wear the headband.
You wanna
Oh, yeah,
wanna
sorry.
give it to whoever has the lowest.
Yeah, I'll wear
Okay.
it.
But I don't
I'll
want the
wear it.
headband because I got the ring.
Yeah, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Dragon.
thanks for-
Yeah.
So you guys, your mother's been turned invisible, and she places her hand on your shoulder, and she says, Incineroth rises.
So
I try and roll a history check to see who is Asinorov.
I say I
And
don't care who it is.
Anybody that wants to can roll a history check.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I rolled a 10. It's
I
not
rolled
great.
14.
I rolled a 16.
Aoshan, you get a +4 because of your headband of
Yeah.
intellect.
I know.
Would I
I
get
rolled-
that D4 because of my?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know what I said before. I got 14, so now I have an 18 in that.
So you know that Incineroth was once a powerful cleric king. Prior to being a cleric king, he was a cleric for an adventuring party known only as the Vieros.
V.
And he eventually allied himself with a necromancer and learned the powerful magic necessary to overcome death and eventually build his tomb and become a mummy lord.
Nice.
And this was over 1,000 years ago. And
Ancient.
Dragon, your mother says, Dragon, I have seen Incineroth. He will destroy you all.
I laugh at that.
And she
I say, what is our reason for coming here in the first place?
And she says, the only way out now is through Incineroth.
I guess I need to send him the CT a month then.
So, could we take a short rest before we move on?
So who doesn't need a short rest? He can keep guard.
Because I have good health, but I want to regain some.
You can stand guard while on a short rest. The short rest is an hour of just chilling
Sure.
out.
What's
Nice.
So, yeah,
What are the rules for gaining max spell slots?
long rest.
Oh, well then, I have no way to regain those.
Okay, if we're going to take a short rest, I'm going to spend 10 minutes and make a magic circle for us to sit in.
That sounds
Oh.
cool.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. So
Lasts for 2 hours, and then I can take my short rest and then get my spells back.
So anybody that has taken damage, if you need to, you can roll any of your hit dice to regain hit points. If you have any abilities that recover at a short rest, those are recovered.
That will be my dragon breath.
Yep.
let
So,
me see.
yeah, so you guys pass without incident. You hear a few rumblings, like the whole tomb itself seems to be rumbling a little bit,
Nice. Okay.
and you hear some kind of sounds in the distance. So
Let's go.
an hour passes.
All right, cool.
Let's
We
go
continue
kill a
on.
mummy lord.
Well, in the next room, as you pass through the door, the next room is about 40 foot long, but only about 20 feet across. And the floor is completely covered in sand. And at the far end of the room, on the north wall, is an archway leading into a hallway. But on the floor, in the sand, in front of this archway, there lies the body of a slain, what looks to be an ogre, and holding a sword embedded in where the ogre's heart would be and partially crushed under the ogre is the body of, it's actually the skeletal remains of a dragonborn. This would be... Yep, go ahead.
I'm like, well, we know where you winded up. As I snicker back to Mother.
Yeah, she says, it's a bit disconcerting seeing my bones lying here in this tomb, and yet I also walk. But that is how I met my death.
So would you like your sword back, Ma? As I look back with a smirk in my face.
Yeah, she goes, I think the sword that I have, for what good I can swing it, will do me well. The sword that her skeleton holds appears to be rusted and corroded.
Hence the reason there was a smirk on my face.
Yeah. Yeah, but so just beyond that, though, there is a long hallway with the floor is actually several small, it's almost like a harlequin pattern of orange and black tiles. The hallway is about 50 feet long, about 20 feet across, and there are several narrow archways along the east wall of this hallway. And you can see that there are what appear to be 4 holes in each of these narrow little alcoves.
Mm.
And then you notice that there are actually, from some of these holes, there are rusty spears protruding.
Mm-hmm.
And not from all of them, but from several of them. And there are even a few rusted and broken spears laying on the floor.
I tell my mother to hold fast.
How long did you say the hall was?
About 50 feet.
Oh, okay.
Can we tell about the floor? Is this like a floor trap where you have to step on the certain things? Like, do they move?
Does anybody have a 10-foot pole?
Oh no, I have rope. That's all.
At the far end of this hallway, on the west wall, you can see a very ornate door. And as you're looking, that very ornate door just kind of goes and opens about 6 inches. And you can see a golden light emanating from beyond the door.
So I say, let's go kill a mummy lord, and I just start walking to the door.
So as you start walking, you take a couple paces and nothing happens, and then you hear click,
Shit.
I thought you were
and
wearing
nothing
a headband.
happens.
I thought you were wearing a headband of intelligence.
Okay.
Actually, you hear a click, and you kind of hear a sproing, and nothing happens. You sense that you just stepped on a trap, but kind of looking around this room, it looks like something else may have either set this trap off before, or it's just so old that nothing functions. As you look around at the broken spears and some that are half protruding and they're all rusted.
Okay. So I'm like, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew the trap was already
Yeah,
set off.
you knew it.
You can't fight my 19 intelligence, man.
Okay. I stand down with my 10.
Yeah, so you're able to continue along. You hear a couple more clicks, but yeah, the traps appear to be so old that they don't even function anymore.
So am I able to do the same thing that he just did?
Well, you are a dwarf and you are much heavier,
Oh
so
no.
you set off several more clicks. But yeah, no, there's the traps. The traps are all so old that nothing is functioning.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys are able to make it to this final
And
chamber.
the door's already cracked open.
Yep, and there's a golden light.
I motioned for
Emanating.
the rest of our group to follow so that we
I
can
do.
all proceed in unison.
All right, so get ready because this is what you see when you walk in.
Da, da, da,
You guys
da.
are, just for the sake of clarity, when you see this image pop up, you are entering from the southwest, so the left of the image, that is the door you are coming through. And this is what you see before you.
Nice.
You
Red it is.
see gold, artifacts, gems, jewels, riches galore. The floor is literally embossed with gold foil and silver. You see some kind of the same symbol that was in red on when you entered the tomb is in gold on these tattered banners all around the room. There's a raised dais with a giant golden sarcophagus in the middle of the room on the north wall. There are 4 canopic jars lining the wall with different colored skull covers on them. There is a giant sword that tops the sarcophagus that is gleaming, and you can only assume that you have reached the grand burial chamber of the cleric king Hyceneroth.
I take a step in and I hold my long sword and I sort of look at it. I give it like sort of a, I don't know, appreciative, kind of like a, I don't want to do this, but I still have to. But at the same time, I really want to. As I drop the blade and release it to where it was originally stolen from.
So as you drop the blade near one of the treasure piles, some of the gold coins just seem to almost move like mercury and grasp out at the sword and just kind of pull the sword into one of the treasure piles.
Whoa.
And then
And you feel as that happens, you feel the curse that has plagued your family for generations has been lifted.
And with a great sense of relief, I pull out my warhammer that's been on my back this entire time. I'm excited to use it for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, I fulfilled my purpose here, but I believe there's someone we have to destroy.
Mm.
All right.
Uh,
Anybody else want to do anything?
Oh, and
I look.
I also turn around to the corner, southwest corner, and I take a leak.
Okay.
He's been
Uh,
drinking a lot of Mountain Dew.
yeah, like a lot.
Okay. While he's doing that, I will set my mother off into the corner and tell her to go whisper in her and Draconic and tell her to go in the corner and take shots of opportunity if she sees the rise, but don't put herself in risk to take a pop shot.
Yeah.
So,
If she takes a shot, she won't be invisible anymore.
so if she takes any shot, she'll automatically become uninvisible.
You can't
Yeah,
attack.
Yeah.
it's as soon as you attack, you become visible.
Then I tell her to just sit in the corner and we'll take care of this and we'll go home and we will drink for hours on end of your homecoming.
So, I search. I'm looking for a heart in a jar, aren't I?
Oh,
Indeed, you are. There are four canopic jars that line the dais against the north wall.
Yeah, I search for a jar with a heart inside.
Which one are you going to go for first? The blue and orange one are closest to you, and the purple and red ones are on the other side of the dais.
I'll go for the red one.
Which way are you going to take to get there?
I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna pass over the tomb. Actually gonna go around it, like pass next to the treasure piles, but keeping my distance. So I'm on the wall.
Okay. So, all right. So you start walking across the room, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Nice. That's 23.
So as you take a step, give me a second here to make this transition. As you take a step to go past this treasure pile,
Yeah.
you feel your foot starts to step on a tile, and there's nothing there as the tile breaks away. And you watch as the gold pile next to you slides down. All right, I'm having trouble with this. 1 second. Slides down, and all right, stop that. And what you see, yeah, it's this one. 6 tiles all collapse, and where there was once golden treasures and floor tiles, there is now a 10-foot by 20-foot pit of acid.
Sure.
You hesitate, swing your arms wildly for a moment, and then you catch yourself before you fall headlong into this pit of acid. That was a close call.
Mm-hmm.
As these
I say that. That was a close call.
as these tiles are falling into the acid, as these tiles are falling into the acid, you hear a deep rumbling at your feet, and the lid of the sarcophagus begins to lift and slide, and it falls off to the side, and Hycineroth, the Mummy Lord, rises from the sarcophagus. There is no question that this is the Mummy Lord. Where the other mummies were desiccated remains wrapped in old cloth, his visage is that of a mummy. There's hints of cloth and desiccated skin, but he is draped in golden golden ornaments. He has a head dressing on. He carries a large golden staff, and he rises and hovers above the casket and looks around at you and says, "Who dares disturb my tomb?"
I say, "Oh, Shandes."
Brad shook Broadbeard.
Dagar, the warrior.
And Skelix.
All of you will call this your tombs, for you will not leave my tomb alive.
Okay, so I take a jar of alchemical fire and I just flung it at him.
And this is where we will roll initiative.
I'm gonna break out my final battle dice. I have a set just for this occasion. Alright, let's do this.
All right. Aoshin, what is your initiative roll?
10.
I swear, every time on initiative, it's lower than 10.
Brad Shook.
A total of 9. Which isn't bad.
Dragon.
Ideal.
13, 14, 15.
And Skellis.
I rolled a 17 plus 2 is 19.
I think for the first time, Skellis, you are going first.
What? This is unheard of.
I'm going to start it off with a bang then, I'm thinking. And I'm going to set a fireball on top of him.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I like that. Can
I ask a question? Is there a concussion wave that might rush through the jar if he hits?
Well,
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
I'm going to set the fireball near the top of the ceiling so that it engulfs all of him because he's looking above it.
Nice.
So that's my roll. What is that? 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 18, 22, 26 points of damage.
Nice.
Oh, one second. So you rolled 8d6?
9.
Oh. Oh, yep. And he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
For half damage, yes.
Yeah, what is your spell save DC?
15.
He fails his saving throw.
Nice.
So you did how many points of damage?
What was that? 26?
Oh.
So fire cascade. You cast it at the ceiling above his head.
Yeah, just above his head. Yes.
So as it hits the ceiling, fire just rains down on him, and you actually hear him scream as this fire rains down on him and catches his robes on fire, and he just seems to be engulfed in flame for a moment. Is there anything else you're going to do on your turn?
Yeah. I'm going to step back.
So as you step back, and as he's burst into flame, he actually, while screaming out, kind of holds his hands up, and you see the flame just instantly get quenched as he kind of swirls in like a tornado and turns into a whirlwind of sand. And he extinguishes his fire, and he moves over to the northwest corner by one of the treasure piles. So in the image, he's kind of off to the right of the dais. He reappears.
So he just fleed.
He basically moved to the opposite side of the room from where you guys were, and extinguished the fire. And just for, so Dragon, is your turn.
Okay, so he's in the upper right corner. And where are we currently at? The what side? We're on the other side of the
Left,
room, right?
left side, yes. But you
Okay.
can move across. You can move across the dais. It's not like difficult terrain or anything like that. But he would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. But he's probably about 40 to 50 feet away from where you guys were standing.
Great, I have 50 feet movement speed.
I was going to say with the exception of Aoshin, because you're on the edge of the acid pit. He's only 25 feet away from you.
Even better.
30 feet.
So if my speed's 25, I won't be able to make it to him.
You die.
Correct.
Actually, I have an idea, but he turns into sand. No, that
so
will not work. Alright, so what I do is I'll enter the room right near Laotian, and then is all the traps been set off, or was that the only one?
The only one that's been set off so far.
The way I'm going to walk is from the front of the door to right where Laotian is, walk across the path, like the first 3 steps, on my way to him. Because he's already there and he hasn't fallen into anything.
Right, so you're going to walk to him and then kind of up on the dais?
On the steps of the dais.
Yep, okay. Yeah, you can do that. No problem.
Yeah. And then that would probably be I presume that's about as far as I can go.
Yeah, if you can make a ranged attack if you have any ranged weapons. Otherwise, that's as far as you can move.
Oh, that's it. I have my weapons drawn and ready.
All right. Let's see. That was 2. See, that cost 2. That cost 2. That cost 2. Oh, all right. He's not doing anything. So, Aoshin, it is your turn.
So I approach the mummy lord. I do. Wait.
Kick him.
So I attack him. I try and kick him in the nuts.
I was gonna say, did you just say you're gonna kick him? Okay.
I'm joking. No. Just another strike. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Roll it up.
attack him. That's 17 on the first attack.
That is a hit.
Okay, he takes 8 damage from the first attack. Then I do my extra attack on the combat phase. 19, I hit. I do another 9 damage. Then I spend the 1 key point to do Flurry of Blows. I attack twice, so that's 1 attack 17. The other attack is 26. Both hit. Since both of them hit, I also spend another key point to attempt stunning strike. The target must succeed on a con saving throw or be stunned until end of your next turn. So now I'm gonna roll damage for the Flurry of Blows. 6 and 11. That's 18 damage from the Flurry of Blows.
Yeah, so the Mummy Lord just gets pummeled as you kick him and punch him and just lay into him. And as you're striking him, he's laughing the whole time. And then, what was the saving throw for the stunning?
It's actually 14. Con.
That's the die I said I wasn't going to use. I rolled a 2.
Yeah.
I just automatically picked it up. I didn't mean to use that die. I think I'm going to retire that die.
Why is he even laughing? He should be dead.
He was laughing until you hit him and stunned him.
Yeah. So.
But
Stunning strike.
1 second. I need to check something. He does not have Dragon's legendary powers of being able to just go ahead and decide to pass pass a failed saving throw.
Okay.
Oh wait, what
So
was
it's
that?
good.
Hold on, whoa. What was that? A con saving throw? You said or a strength?
Yeah. Con.
Con.
Yeah.
Oh,
Constitution.
even with his plus, he still fails it. Yeah. Sorry, I saw that he has a higher thing on that, and he can be stunned. So the Mummy Lord is now stunned.
Nice.
He
So
Nice.
can't move. He can't speak. He automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws, and any attack roll against him now has advantage.
Oh, I
So,
like
and-
this.
he's stunned until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so let's do everything so that you can't take your next turn. So that he is stunned for...
So I can try and stun him again next turn, and if I stun
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
then he's fucked. So
Yeah, I guess that'll work.
Jeez.
he just so simple. Spend all my key points and kill him. Okay,
Brad shook.
Alright, so... He's too far away for me to get to him, right?
you can dash.
Yeah.
Dash basically doubles your speed, and you can't do anything else.
If it's
Yeah, but
you can
I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on top of the dais. I think that's as far as I can get. And I'm going to channel my divinity and cast Vow of Enmity on him as a bonus action. So,
And what does that do?
well, no, I'm not. Because it gives me advantage. Well, yes, I will. So I gain advantage on attack rolls for 1 minute or until he drops to 0 or is unconscious. So when the stun wears off, I'll still have advantage. And that was just a bonus action. Let's see what I can do real quickly. I don't want to
You
use
have
any
a ranged.
I don't have. I do have 5 javelins, but I don't have their attacks right now. So let me just go to weapons.
Yeah, a javelin would use your strength. So it'd
Okay,
be
that's
whatever
good.
your strength and proficiency bonus is.
Well, I don't have
And-
proficiency in that.
Yeah, you do.
Are you
Are
sure?
you sure you do?
It says battle axe, hand axe, throwing hammer, and
That's-
warhammer.
That's just your. That's your.
Those are my proficiencies.
That's your racial proficiencies, but as a paladin, you're proficient
Oh,
in
yeah.
all simple and martial
Yeah,
weapons.
you're right. Okay, so that would be a total of +7 to hit.
Yep, and let's see, javelin has a thrown range of 30 foot. So
Okay.
yeah, you're within throwing range. So yeah, no problem.
And then a d6 piercing damage plus
Yep.
4 if that
So
comes
yeah,
to
you
it.
can chuck a javelin at him, and you
Right.
have advantage on the attack.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I'm just gonna roll this one twice. So first roll's a 7, second roll's a 15, so that's better. And then plus 7, that should hit.
Yep, that hits. And
So
there's nothing
then
you can do about it.
I can add 4 to my attack because that's my strength. And then I roll the d6.
Don't forget your. Well, it doesn't apply to damage, but you're blessed still. Oh no, your blessing wore off because you guys took a long rest.
We took a short rest.
That's what I mean, a short rest.
Oh, okay,
Your blessing
well,
was only for a half hour, so.
Yeah,
Anyway,
alright.
go ahead.
so
What
I
was your
rolled
damage?
a total of, with plus 4, is 6 damage.
Yeah, your javelin hits him, and it actually kind of passes through him, kind of ripping some of his wrappings off as it passes through him.
That's weird.
Does it stick in him?
No, it goes right through him.
Yeah, he probably has resistance with slashing and shit and piercing. So
It is the Mummy Lord's turn.
he
And-
can't do anything.
Yep, he can't take any actions or reactions. So the Mummy Lord is just standing there, still stunned. So it is now Skelos' turn.
Alright, I'm going to
Nice.
throw a couple Eldritch Blast into him again.
Yes.
I haven't done it yet. 14?
That one goes wide and instead blasts one of the banners behind him.
And 19.
That one connects.
All right. It goes force 12 points of damage.
How many points?
12.
All right. Anything else? You gonna move or?
I'm gonna stay back where I am. I can hit from there, so.
All right, Trigan.
Okay. So he's stunned, so he can't react to anything I do, correct?
That is correct.
So if I pick him up, throw him into the acid pit, he can't react to that, correct?
Oh my
I'm
god.
liking this a lot.
Why didn't I think of that?
Well,
Do it.
yeah, that's true. He can't react to that.
So I proceed to pick him up. I don't know, and I'm not encumbered with stuff, so I put my sword back on my hilt, walk over, use a rage feat, pick him up, and slam him directly into the acid. So basically, what you see me pick him over my hand, and in the name of Baphomet, I summon you back, and then throw him into the pit of acid.
I'm
And
liking
his
this
That
a
is
lot.
awesome.
John
Yeah.
Cena. What?
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, yeah, you throw him into the acid. He can't react to that. He's going to take 4d6 of acid damage. Let's see, is he immune to acid? No, he is not.
That's right, he isn't.
I rolled a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. So he takes 7, 8, 9, 10 points of damage as soon as he lands in the acid.
Guys, I gotta go.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so sorry. So,
Well, thank you for coming in. You were a part of the awesome, and I'm sorry you can't stick around for the next few minutes to see the rest of the awesome.
yeah,
But
I wish I could.
thanks for playing, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I give my 2 jars of alchemic fire and my mission briefing to Zach, and tell him what to do. So if you could just
All right.
forward the secret mission to him, it would be great. And
Yep.
I jump into the pool of acid and die.
He gives me his last bidding and then kills himself.
So, bye.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, I forgot. He had to go. Basically,
Well, that was rather strange.
Zach, he had the heartbreaker.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. All right. So the Mummy Lord just got thrown into a pit of acid.
And
It's unfortunate. It was Aoshin's turn.
And he jumped in with him.
wait a minute, I was going to use a bonus action.
Oh,
I had to
go
be able
ahead.
to do that.
It's
And I was going to want to know how heavy is the sarcophagi and
Oh
Cover
no,
for
what are you
that.
doing?
throwing it on top of him so he's pinned down underneath.
the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus. You wouldn't be able to. You just wouldn't be able to lift that.
The lid?
I mean, you can. But the lid. You can make a strength check
Okay.
and see if you can pick it up.
That'll
So
work. Hold
go
on
ahead
one
and
second.
roll a strength check. Add your strength bonus.
That what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to figure out the total. So
It would just be. I think you said you had a +3 to strength, so it would just be roll and add +3.
but since I'm raging, there's also
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to see what the bonus for.
So
it
yeah,
doesn't,
+5.
You also get a +3, I think, because you're still in
It's not
my.
a saving throw. It's not a saving throw.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
yeah, so
Please
just roll a
let this
d20
work.
and add 5.
Oh, sorry. But it's a 14 plus 5. So that's like.
Oh yeah,
19.
you're able to pick it up. It's heavy, but you're able to pick it up.
I directly throw the lid on top of lengthwise to cover the mummy lord in the pit of acid to pin him to the floor, pin him to the bottom of the pit of acid.
All right, I'm going to let you roll the 6d6.
What?
That is the additional acid damage and the bludgeoning damage of the sarcophagus lid.
Roll. Okay.
Ooh,
So
that's a lot of ones.
3 ones, but it's still not that bad. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, because I have a extra +2 to damage. Because I'm raging.
So as you throw this lid into the acid and it hits the mummy lord, and you saw him, he was actually starting to rise up out of the pit as you throw this heavy sarcophagus lid on top of him. And you see, as his face was emerging, this look of horror on his face. As this lid slams in, and the last thing you see of the mummy lord is his skull shattering as the corner of the lid hits him right between the eyes. And there's this tremendous burst of dark energy that emanates out from him. And then you just hear and feel this tremendous as the dark energy is released. And the energy is so powerful it actually shatters the 4 canopic jars.
Mm-hmm.
And the viscera of the mummy lord is mostly just these desiccated internal organs. But from where the red lid jar was is the blackened, desiccated heart of the mummy lord, now sitting on the dais step.
Yes. So I see that.
Yes! Sorry. Let's try that again.
Alright. Yeah. So I see that, and I pull out this alchemist's fire that I was given, and I walk up to the heart, and at a safe distance, I toss it onto the heart.
It bursts into flame, and the heart of the mummy lord, it just seems to burn like 10 times brighter than the alchemical fire as it bursts into green flame.
Green flame.
I was wondering who I was going to pick up on that. And you sense another release of dark energy as you have eliminated the only method of the mummy lord's return. The tomb of the mummy lord and all of its treasures now belong to you. All of you.
We did it.
Sweet!
Except for the elf.
Okay, I gotta say, man, the Mummy Lord is a 10th level spellcaster, and I didn't get one spell off. I didn't nerf the Mummy Lord in any way, but your guys' actions, just with Aoshin coming in there and incapacitating him, I never anticipated that. And I sure as heck never anticipated somebody picking him up and throwing him in the acid. That was brilliant.
And then shattering his face.
If this were, yeah, and then throwing the lid on his head to trap him in there, dude. If this was a campaign, or even if we were doing like playing another session or something, you would have gotten inspiration right there. That was phenomenal.
I watch a lot of action flicks, and I myself love thinking outside the box. I'm like, okay, so we have this giant pit of acid and a mummy. Throw the mummy in the pit, throw the lid on top of the mummy, he's now pinned, and then I ask how we kill the bloody mummy off.
If you hadn't have done that, he would have gotten out of the pit on the next turn. And just to put it in perspective, The Mummy Lord had 150 hit points, and you guys obliterated it. Well, geez, the monk took him down by a third of his health in the first attack.
Yeah.
I've run this adventure 5 times now for 5 different groups, and you are the first group to never let me get a spell off. I've got one spell that he does that does 14 d6 of damage, and I never got to fire it off.
What level spell is it?
What's that?
What level spell is that?
That is a 6th level harm spell.
Oh.
And the other thing is, I want to thank Kyle Hood for his time of letting me play against a mummy in a previous game. So yeah, I've learned.
Well, and actually, I take that back when I said the monk did a third of damage. Credit where credit is due. That was actually the warlock. Skellish, you did that with your fireball. Because you did 26 points of damage, but a mummy is vulnerable to fire damage, which means all fire damage does double damage to him.
Oh, yeah? I made a
So,
point
yeah, you guys...
before this game.
So, yeah, so we are about 3 minutes away. I want to try to end on time here so that anybody that's watching, according to this, we have 3 viewers right now. So anybody that's watching, they can get on to watch some other live games and stuff. I want to thank each of you. I know we had some technical difficulties and trouble getting everybody in here at the beginning, but we were able to get through the tomb, and I had a blast. You guys were fun to play with. I hope you guys had a blast too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're not already a part of the Tabletop One Shot group or the RPG Brigade on Facebook, keep an eye out this fall, and I'm planning on running several more games. I'll probably be running some more low-level games for introductions into 5th edition. But yeah, you guys are always welcome to try to get in on my games. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick call out for BrigadeCon and Child's Play and wrap it up here. So if you guys want to, it's up to you if you want to stick around for a minute. When we go off air, we'll still be on the Hangout. So give me a quick moment. Everybody watching, whether you're watching live right now or you are tuning in after the fact to watch a replay of this video, thank you for sticking through to the end. This has been Tomb of the Mummy Lord, a custom 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure that I have written. And this has been a part of the BrigadeCon 2015. I am Jake for Mini Terrain Domain. You can see my terrain tutorials on youtube.com/miniterraindomain. I also have pictures and posts on facebook.com/miniterraindomain. But more importantly, go to brigadecon.org. You can order t-shirts and sweatshirts with the funds going to benefit Child's Play. You can also go to brigadecon.org and click on the widget for Child's Play to donate directly to the charity. Child's Play is a fantastic organization that has been around for, I believe, 10 or 12 years now. And they are, maybe it hasn't been that long. It's been quite a while anyway, several years. And they help to bring games, board games, role-playing games, video games, toys to children in hospitals and in domestic abuse shelters. You can find me at 7 a.m. right here on Mini Terrain Domain, where I will be doing a sponsor giveaway of a couple prize packs. And again at 10 a.m. for the Terrain in Tabletop Gaming panel, which will feature the DMG, Wylock, and Czar of Happiness, who designs the set pieces for the Acquisitions Incorporated PAX games. I will also be playing over on WASD20's channel, Subterranean Subterfuge, from 1 to 4 Eastern Daylight Time. And again, from 8 p.m. to midnight, I will be hosting Wards of Witching Ways right here. Enjoy your con. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to donate. And remember, I have been Mini Terrain Domain. Mittada.